Deathbringer here. Ready to toss your dice and your morals into the abyss? Then back the Roll for Combat Kickstarter, weaklings. It's packed with hundreds of savage, blood-soaked options to obliterate your enemy. And better yet, you'll get to use them in my game, the Deathbringer RPG. Coming next year, the Deathbringer RPG isn't some soft, cuddlecore fantasy nonsense. It's fast, mean, and completely unforgiving. In Deathbringer, you don't save the world. You stab it in the heart, loot the corpse, and set it on fire for good measure. Every backer of the Roll for Combat Secret Tomes for Shadowdark Kickstarter will get an exclusive sneak peek at the glorious carnage of Deathbringer and a chance to play in the beta test later this year. So sharpen your blade, settle your soul, and back it now. Ignore me and I'll use your spine as a bookmark. Back now.
Hey everyone, it's time. Oh, it didn't work.
Roll for combat.
There, it worked. Yay! I got it working. Oh, did it work? Did you hear it? You guys are
I hear
muted
you
now.
saying it worked.
Okay, cool. So I'm trying to. I actually got its Roll for Combat sound and the intro working, but I got a soundboard just for you, Derek.
I approve.
There we go. Although I set it up totally wrong. I got to figure out how to do it outside of OBS. I did it within OBS and it's a little wonky. So, oh, there we go.
You got a toilet flush?
No, I have.
Okay.
Yeah. Well. Oh, great. That is the worst cricket sound I've ever heard. That doesn't even sound like crickets. Terrible. Terrible.
Okay. Well, before we get into the main topic about like the use of board games and perceived value in tabletop RPGs, there's a lot of news that happened this week.
How about before we even get into the news, we say who's on the show?
That's a really good idea.
There we go. Because people don't know who these people are. I mean,
So
Derek
Steven, why don't
Melenda.
you start? You're Steven.
Derek Melenda from Knights of Last Call, aka the #1 source for all things Daggerheart. Do you see my deluxe Daggerheart right here?
Buddy, I got mine.
I know you got yours. We each got our own. We got our deluxe Daggerhearts. This thing is so heavy. And right next to my Daggerheart, I look at what I also got. I got with Michael Pudlick. Oh, we got our matching sets.
Mine hasn't come yet.
Dragon Town. Well, you're not cool enough to get one for free.
No.
Hand delivered.
Hand delivered.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
JP, I was at the same dinner as you. JP pulled one out, was like, I'm giving this to you. And I said, keep it. I already paid you money for it, and you're shipping it to me.
A likely story. I don't remember that. I remember him saying...
It was at Kelsey's birthday dinner.
Okay, I do remember that. But I chose to remember otherwise. You could have given it to Mark.
Yeah.
He gave me like the original smaller book at
he
that
had something
dinner.
smaller for Mark.
But okay.
I will say regarding Daggerheart, I am trying to keep the torch going amongst other games, including the fact that last week I did a special European Heart stream, and I gave away. I had promised to give away a copy of the Daggerheart core set to a European. And luckily, it was open to anybody in Europe. Luckily, the person who won is a member of my Patreon, which is really nice. That was cool. That's going to them. Guess how much it's going to cost me to ship this to Portugal?
Oh,
I'm gonna guess
I know.
$90.
Well,
$90.
No, it's
41.
Not 90. No, it's not $90.
41 from Michael, 91 from Mark.
What are you using?
I got 2 quotes, one from UPS, one from USPS.
Oh, you didn't actually should use FedEx.
No,
don't use either of those. But don't use
You're
those.
paying retail? You're paying full retail? For
Yeah, dude.
Retail.
Don't use those.
I'm just saying. Guess
you're
how much
probably
it was.
it's probably like 60.
It was $100.
Oh
I
my
win!
God!
I win.
Wow, I don't even know what normal prices are. But
Yeah, you don't know what normal people have to pay because
That's
you're always
insane.
doing it as
Yes,
a business.
it's not using like shippicker.com or any of those packaging, bulk
Holy
packaging
crap.
type things.
Dude,
If you-
by the way, this is why when people say, "Oh, your shipping's $12," I was like,
Right.
$12? Yeah, that's cheap. That is like people complain. Amazon has ruined everyone, basically.
Absolutely. I mean,
sure.
I was. By the way, $100 was USPS.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
UPS $165.
Oh yeah. They're the most
I'm not
expensive.
shocked
They're
by
not
that.
expensive.
And that's, by the way, for their like 10 to 14 day shipping.
Yeah. Now use FedEx. Use FedEx. Or actually, DHL is by far the cheapest. But DHL is hard to find. But you're in a major city, so you should be able to find DHL.
But also, too, I mean, I'm shipping one thing, right?
Doesn't matter.
It's not like, in terms of scales, it doesn't really matter as much.
Okay, but do you know what we didn't do while we were talking about this shipping thing, which actually is really interesting? I'd like to talk about. Introduce the people who were here, like Stephen said.
Everybody knows who we are.
We started,
but we got very sidetracked.
It's
And if
Stephen
the
and Mark
idea
from-
was at the beginning to say
Stephen
who
and Mark
everyone
from Roll for
was.
Combat. It's Michael Putlack from Night Noon Games, associated with the Arcane Library, and it's Derek Melinda. No one gives a shit. That's
there we
who it is.
go. We got it. By the way, you are now allowed to curse in the beginning of YouTube.
I know. Oh, I know.
Oh.
I've noticed a distinct.
They changed the rules.
I've noticed a distinct reduction in the number of your content has been flagged as potentially unsuitable for some advertisers has gone down.
That's called money is going away, and everyone is now loosening the rules. So that is literally what that is called. So,
Derek, did you look into just buying that box set from someone in Europe and having it shipped from a warehouse within Europe?
it's sold out.
Would that have been
It's
cheaper?
sold out.
It's sold out
Yeah,
worldwide.
it's sold out entirely in Europe.
In fact,
It's
we
sold out
had. I
worldwide.
think we had like over 250 people enter for this because they said this is literally my best chance to get a copy of Daggerheart in Europe.
Wow.
It's sold out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sold out. In fact, I don't think it's like secret or anything like that, but when we were at the Darrington Press Shindig, they said that it is typical for the EU to do somewhere around 10 to 20% of the NA numbers. And they said it was like 1-to-1.
Yeah. They said it was 100%.
They said it was 100%. So like, obviously that's a factor potentially that there was not enough product in NA, but the fact that it sold way more in Europe than they possibly ever expected.
I remember when they said that I was asking if that was because they could have sold even more in North America if it had existed in North America. And I think the answer is probably yes.
Yes, I'm sure it's somewhere probably between 10% and 100% in actuality, but I think regardless of that, I think it was still much higher.
The point is just how much they underprinted the products.
Yeah, to be fair, they're up to their third printing. They didn't underprint.
Yeah.
Like, as someone who has to print these things, the number one thing they always say is don't overprint. Like, never, ever, ever overprint.
You can lose tons of money. It's much smarter to underprint because it also makes your product seem and feel more successful as a commodity when it's not available.
There was a good solid year where you kind of couldn't get Shadowdark.
Yeah.
I mean, it was tough. I didn't have a copy. I couldn't buy a copy. They didn't have it at wherever. I even was like, hey, Kelsey, I'm about to run your game. Do you have a copy? And she's like, honestly, I don't even have a copy. She's like, I don't even have copies to give away to people. So it's like if the creator of the game doesn't have a copy of it, you're selling out everywhere.
Yeah, that was bad.
Well, we wouldn't be talking about Daggerheart so much right now if it wasn't sold out. We would have just moved on.
That's part of it. It's definitely part of it. So
I mean, it's the Critical Role game. People are going to talk about.
Yeah. Well, just like Candela Obscura, right?
Wait.
Anyhow, so talking of role-playing games, I have big news today. Good job. Use that soundboard liberally. Did you know that today a brand new TTRPG came out? Not only did it come out, but published by Wizards of the Coast.
Exodus.
That's correct. Exodus came out today. And you guys have heard about it, right? There's been advertising everywhere.
Yeah,
I've been seeing it. Well, sure. I've not seen a single thing on this.
Let me be fair.
I've seen
Unlike most people,
nothing.
I obviously have a very, very expansive Patreon full of people who look at the most obscure games that no one else looks at. I make a living out of finding these games that, I keep my ear, close to the grindstone. I keep my nose on the grindstone. I keep my ear to the ground for all these releases. And even I didn't hear about it till you.
No, seriously. I mean, same thing. I subscribe to hundreds of channels. I get hundreds of emails from every source in the industry. It's like, this is all I do. This is all I do is pay attention to the news.
I've been on a show where we talked about this before, and they said it was coming out in late August, and I still didn't realize that it came out today, even though I was actually kind of looking for it.
It's like, and this isn't like some nobody is releasing this. This is Wizards of the Coast, brand new TTRPG to go up against Starfinder, I guess, or whatever, and nothing. But it actually has tons of support too. They have like books coming out. They have a novel. You can buy the novel that just came out, Exodus, Archimedes Engine. There's Secret Level. There's a Traveler's Handbook. There's the actual fill-in sheet you can get for the characters. I'm like, really? I was like, wow.
Do you guys think it's weird? Do you guys think it's weird that the player characters are called travelers in this?
Because I
thought it was a little weird. I actually saw that, and I thought that was very strange.
Not really, because
I was like, are they doing something with Traveler? Are they pairing up with Traveler?
No, because they've literally run out of words. Because originally, remember, they had race, and then they wanted to take ancestry, but someone else took it, and then they even wanted to take it. They literally they couldn't figure out what to call it, so they called it species.
You can't just take ancestry. Anybody can use ancestry.
Yeah, but they didn't want to be associated, so they use species, which Starfinder uses. Like, remember that there's only so many words that can replace the word race. So there was like 2 or 3, and that was it. And most of those are being used by other games. So, and they definitely didn't want to have ancestry. They didn't want to associate themselves with Pathfinder. So they took species, which is just associating themselves with stuff. Again, I'm not that.
Is it really because of associating? Maybe they just didn't like the term.
No.
How do you know for sure? Did you hear someone say we didn't do ancestry because Pathfinder did it?
I haven't. I'm using the years of knowledge of marketing and trying to distance yourself from your nearest competitor as much as possible. You don't want to overlap terms, or you don't want to overlap main concepts, as if you can help it. And so I have a feeling that's one of the main reasons. They didn't even bring it up as an option. So anyhow. Oh, it's called Traveler because it's based on a video game. That's the other thing, right? It's based on a video game.
That's from a super chat from Mark T. Thanks, Mark T.
Thanks, Mark.
Have you guys noticed that in all the marketing materials for it, they refer to it as a TRPG?
Yes.
Yeah, like
does that bother anyone else?
Are they planning on selling it in Japan? Is that why?
No, I just think they're just being weird. I don't know. Because it's a traveler role-playing game. Get it?
Is that really what the T stands for?
I have no idea. Probably.
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm trying to find them. Like, looking.
Honestly, a lot of the marketing materials I'm seeing, they don't even refer to it with T or TTRPG. They don't even tell you that it's not a video game. In some of the things I'm seeing, they just say it's a AAA science fiction action adventure role-playing game franchise.
Interesting.
Well, it's a tabletop role-playing game, but it's only one T. That's
interesting.
They're just
in Japan it's table talk, TALK, and it's only one T and it's all one word.
Well, let me put it this way: if they're going to release it in Japan, they barely released it in America. So
that's fair. That's fair.
I, for one,
looks amazing.
I know Foundry. Has been. I know Foundry's been working on something for a while. I can't remember the name of it, but
that thing.
I for one am waiting until we get to the VTT RPG.
Oh, well,
that's the RPG that is not playable on a tabletop. It is only playable virtually.
Well, that will go into the second segment when we're going to talk about how Dungeons and Dragons is turning into a board game, which is really the Dungeons and Dragons is like just giving up on
okay, well, it's like
physical stuff.
Let me
or if
ready
they're going into that, but that is going to happen. We're going to talk about that.
Lock and load this eye roll. Oh. Okay, D&D has become a board game. Happened in 3rd edition when they released the whatever, when they released D&D Minis, the tactical miniature game. It happened in 4th edition when they released the Wrath of Ashardalon and the Castle Ravenloft box.
I know. We're not talking about. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. But I have supporting material for this one. I have. You're right, but they're going. I think
Steven's going to do it from a marketing and sales perspective rather than from a gameplay perspective. Whereas the ones I saw at 3rd and 4th were people saying the gameplay changed to become more like a board game or a video game, and I think Steven may have intentionally clickbaited a little with an image that makes you think he's doing the 3rd and 4th edition arguments again.
No,
I think he's bringing a different argument.
No, I have brand new arguments. I have stuff that you haven't heard before. Anyhow, next up, my favorite piece of RPG news by far. Oh my God. The Kansas City Royals are doing tabletop RPG night September 17th, where everyone who enters gets a free set of special dice and a module to play called Tales from Kaufman's Keep. The name of the stadium for the Royals is Kaufman's Stadium.
In before
road trip?
No.
I might have to go.
Wait. Road trip to Kansas City to go there after the game and take screenshots of the dumpsters and seeing how many of those things end up in the trash.
No, because those are all going on eBay, baby. They're going to be those things. Yes. Oh, dude, whenever I miss, for the Met games, I used to get the giveaways every single time. I have missed, because they only give it out to the first 15,000 people. I got there 2 hours early to get one of the giveaways. I was on the line. The woman in front of me gets the giveaway. I'm there, and they're like, "We're out." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" I was literally
Where's your Glicker luck there, Steven?
Oh, well, you have to buy it on eBay. I had to be there 2 hours and 1 minute early instead of 2 hours. Not one giveaway have I gotten this year at City Field. Not one. And I get them all. This has never happened to me. But yes, because people show up early. A, because they love the Mets, and B, they sell them on eBay, and they sell them on eBay for a lot. Like, these things go for, at least the ticket price. So, but you get a module. Take a look at it. The art.
Yeah, it says here, gather your group and get on down to the ballpark for an extra special night filled with dragons, dingers, and dungeons. This special theme night features exciting in-stadium activations, activities, and more. What is an activation?
We have to. I almost want to do this. We could do a road trip.
Dungeons and Dingers is pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I told you that is you just said it. I was like, that is a really good catchphrase. That is
Dungeon.
Purchase a theme ticket to take home a special Royal Dice Pack and Adventure Book. You and your group are encouraged to use the dice and adventure book to play through your own campaign.
It doesn't say what it is. It includes a set of Kansas City dice. Dude, we go and then we play the adventure at the ballpark during the game.
Are we going to be keeping score of the game at the same time?
Of course. Of course. Yeah. You think Smith would be so up for that, Derek?
Oh, my God. That? I'm like that was a 1/4. That was a 1-4-3 double play. Also, I make the saving throw versus the fireball.
Well, and we'd have to stream it, of course, because that would be the ultimate. It's like we're doing both play-by-play for the baseball game.
Dozens and dozens of dollars that you would make doing that. It would be totally worth it.
Who didn't say I might call up Kansas City?
If you do it on Arcade Mark, you could make dozens of cents.
You can make dozens and dozens of cents.
I like Delusion King's idea. The players, obviously, are members of the Royals.
Of course we are.
And they add the runs, to all of their D20 rolls. And then the GM is the opposite team, and they add the opposite teams. They add the Mariners rolls, right? They're the WoTC, right? They're the grand overlords.
So I think
the Mariners scored all their D20 rolls.
I'm going to try to figure this out. So here's what happens. There is a peasant uprising among the Mariners and Fishers who are trying to overthrow the royal family and down with the monarchy. Right. And you are fighting on the side of the oppressive monarchy to put down the revolt of the Mariners and the Fishers and to stop them from overthrowing the kingdom with their chaotic mob.
That's right.
But that is the adventure.
I can't even believe they got a tabletop RPG night. This is...
remember when Wendy's released like a full frickin' functional RPG system.
I understand,
We
but
have
the
a
way,
campaign world.
yeah, but this is so the way
Remember
these.
when Old Spice released a Pathfinder like class?
Yeah, but let me tell you how this
I
works.
don't remember that.
So this is how it works, is that whenever you do these sponsorships, whenever there's the giveaways, those are not paid for by the team. They're sponsors. So, for example, Nathan's Hot Dogs does a huge number of the sponsorships at Citi Field. So whenever you get a free t-shirt, it also says Nathan's on it. If you get a free hat, it says Nathan's and so forth. So this, what I can tell, is being sponsored by the Royals. Like, I don't see, there's no late, like, they went out of their way to come up with this idea, write an adventure, make dice, print these books. Who's sponsoring this? Wizards isn't sponsoring this. It doesn't have any sponsorship information. So
Maybe some of the
Some
Royals
nerd.
like
Some
TTRPG.
nerd got a position as a
some
brand
nerd.
manager,
Mhm.
and he was like, "All right, guys," and then he
this
convinced-
costs a huge amount of money.
it's got to probably cost less money than like giving everybody a bobblehead or something.
They don't pay for it. That's the point. The Kansas City. So when the Mets have a bobblehead night, they don't pay for the bobblehead.
What if Wizard of the Coast-
Nathan's
What if
pays
Wizard
for
of
the
the Coast-
bobblehead?
What if the Wizards
We don't know.
supported it?
No, it doesn't say. It has no. It has no.
Well, we know Wizards of the Coast is into stealth marketing and not actually doing anything, so maybe that's what their plan.
I guess we're gonna find out.
Maybe it's sponsored by the Exodus TRPG and it's actually using the Exodus rule system.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't say it because Exodus's logo.
Wait, but did you
is to
see
put
the
nothing on-
picture?
just to put nothing on the
Wait,
front.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna-
the hot dogs playing baseball.
Yeah,
Dude, wait.
Yeah.
I gotta show people the picture.
maybe the hot
'cause-
dog is a Nathan's hot dog. You never know.
There seems to be a giant crab in the sky, so I think you might be onto something, Mark, with the Mariners being the enemy. You know,
there you go.
Well,
Yeah.
wait. I gotta wait. I'm gonna bring this up. It's so cool though. It is. It's really cool. Wait, I can't.
How long is this thing going to be? Do you think is it going to be scorecard? Is it going to be 4 pages front and back? It's going to be like a little.
No, it looks like an actual module. Like, oh,
Hold on, I think I
that's a
can
manga.
read. I
It
think I
looks
can
kinda
read
old
what it
school
says.
coded.
It says, "In a world of cunning opponents, treacherous enemies, and unknown terrors, peril lurks around every base. From dangerous diamondbacks to treacherous tigers, this land is full of challengers.
oh
They
my
want
god,
to
I gotta go.
beat
I
you.
gotta go.
They want
this.
to break you. They want to take your crown, but hold on to it desperately, dear adventurer. And be sure to keep a keen eye for whatever is thrown your way. So swing, swing, swing away." That's what it says in small print. It's very
All right, there we go.
pixelated, but when
Yeah.
I zoomed in, I could see.
That was
All right.
impressive. That was
You can't
impressive,
see
Mark.
me, but because my camera's messed up. But yeah, I put it on the screen so everyone can see. I mean, look at that. That's like an old school module.
Yeah, it is.
Someone really
Mhm.
knew what they were doing. It says 25 in the corner where the number of the, like the S1 or whatever would be. It has the font. It looks exactly like an old school module. That is awesome. Ugh. Derek, how far are you from Kansas City?
A long way,
Oh, crap. Okay. I mean, look at this thing.
maybe like 12 hours.
All right. Well, actually, I'm going to zoom into this. Let's see. I'm going to zoom in this a lot closer. Let's see if we can read it. Did you really read
No.
that, Mark?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that was very impressive.
I
Mark.
zoomed all the way in. It was extremely pixelated. Some of the letters did not come out, so I had
Let's
to
see.
use
All right.
context clues to read it, but I read it. You can go back and listen because I read it completely out loud to everybody.
I mean, look at that picture. You're right.
They
There's like a
literally
huge.
said that Diamondbacks and Tigers are going to come to take your crown. So it really does seem like they
for-
have other teams that.
Well, that's a dime, right? Oh
Yeah,
my
they have-
god!
For people who don't know, those are team names.
Yes!
It seems
Of
that they
other,
have
ba- of other
teams
baseball
that they've-
teams.
They've
Oh.
turned
By the way-
into enemies that you have to
Yeah.
destroy. They
Yeah.
said that they're
Yeah.
going to beat you, that they want to break you, and they want to take your crown.
Yes, but hold on to it desperately, dear adventurer, and be sure
Yes.
to keep a keen eye for whatever's thrown your way. So swing, swing, swing away. See, what I did
Oh my
is I
God.
just screenshotted it, put it in ChatGPT, and said, translate this for me. But-
Oh, Derek for the win.
What is
See, I like using humans to do
Derek
things.
is ever since Derek lost his job.
That's true.
And to
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT and AI, he's like, well, if you can't beat him, join him.
what is Mark? Use your eagle eyes and tell me what's on the scoreboard because I can't
What's
tell.
on the
Oh
scoreboard?
yeah, what is on that
is-
scoreboard?
Oh, you closed it. I don't know.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna
Hold on. On
There
the
we go.
scoreboard, I'm
I'll
zooming
have to
in
zoom
here.
in even closer. I'm gonna have to zoom. I feel like we're in Blade Runner. Zoom quadrant 14.
Yeah,
It's almost like some kind of advertisement. There's a scroll with a crown on the left side, and then on the right, there's like a silver platter with some stuff on it.
No, it's a scroll, right? And it
Yeah,
looks
the scroll
like
on the left has a crown
it looks like
on the bottom.
food.
And then it looks like there's food on a silver platter on the right of that.
I do like the crab in the background. He's
Yeah, that
calling
giant
the
kaiju
Royals is
crab.
calling his shot. He looks like he's armored as a knight.
Yeah.
There's a fireball coming out of something in the background. I love the hot dogs running around for no reason whatsoever. This even looks like old school art because it's like there's like 20 things going on that have nothing to do with one another. It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
it's called a royal themed tabletop role playing game. Fun for both veteran and both new and veteran players alike.
There you go.
Oh man.
I would not be playing my infield in against that knight like that.
No way. No way.
They're playing for a bunt right there, and
I know they're like, yeah. What are they doing? They're crazy. Unless it's, well, there could be the bases loaded, one out, and they're playing infield in for a double play.
Sack for a sack, yeah.
Yeah.
So they can play the double, turn the double. You never know. I mean,
You never know.
the hot dogs.
I think they're
clearly
just
have
worried
a
about
good
the crab.
sense of awareness.
They're running away from the kaiju crab, which is in the outfield, right?
The kaiju crab. That's just after you hit a home run. They just there's like fireworks in the back. So anyhow.
All right, so you had even more, Steven.
I
You
know, that
said
might have
one of
been
the
the
things that
best.
you have is going to make us fall out of our chair onto the floor.
No, that was the Exodus. That
okay.
that you didn't fall out of your chair, but I thought you might.
right.
I thought you would. So here comes the craziest one of all. So have you heard of this thing called the Diamond Lawsuit?
It may have come up once or twice.
Oh yeah. So last week I was spending countless hours on the phone with my lawyers about this because I'm thick in the middle of this goddamn lawsuit. So it is impossible for me to go into this. One day we'll go into it all. It is such a mess. According to my lawyer, he goes, these bankruptcies are never clean, but this one is taking the cake because it's so phenomenally complex. So what basically happened is that the judge ruled that they were going to do a mini trial. It's literally a mini trial that Zombie Diamond. Okay, there's actually the original Diamond. There's Zombie Diamond, and then there's New Diamond. There's literally 3 versions of Diamond.
The zombie are the ones who took it until it was being sold.
And
was fully sold.
Yeah, and they want money. They want money.
They just want to vulture it off for as much money as they can. Whereas
Yes.
New Diamond actually wants to have
they
kind
don't.
of a business in the end.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
They
Because
don't?
yeah,
I thought
you
that
know
they
what?
wanted to use the distribution channels for something else.
Nope.
Oh, I
Even
guess
better.
new things have been revealed.
Nope. Here we go. Are you ready? Just let me talk because this is just take it's a little complex. Okay. Zombie Diamond, who owes like $41 million to the bank, wants to take all of our books and sell them and then use the money to pay off Chase. New Diamond, who does not own any of the books, has been selling our property and keeping the money and not reporting anything to us. As my lawyer said, they call that stealing. They're literally stealing our products. It's mind-boggling. So let me get this straight. Put yourself in my shoes. I have a company that has all my books. They went out of business. Now one company wants to take all my books, sell them, keep the money, and then put them into Ollie's. And then I have another company who, meanwhile, while this is all going on, is actively selling my books and keeping the money and not telling me anything of what they're selling and stealing from me.
So one
Have you
company
considered
declares they give you an ultimatum. We're going to steal everything from you.
Mind-boggling.
And you better take this to the courts. And meanwhile, secretly,
No, but
the
they're
other one
different
was
companies.
the other one was secretly stealing a
No.
few over and over
Ugh.
throughout the entire time.
It's so exactly. They're going to be like, oh, there's nothing left to sell because we stole it all.
Well, have you considered just showing up with a box truck, Stephen? Just showing up
yes,
with a...
yes. No,
Yeah.
actually, a lot of these companies, 120, they actually were going to show up in a box truck. But we weren't sure how that would work out, so we didn't. Trust me, that's on the table. There's a lot on the table. We don't think that would have worked. So the judge ruled that they want to have a mini trial that everyone has to prove what they're saying is true. And they're having a mini trial, and the mini trial was scheduled for Monday, literally this Monday. And they were going to say, I'll give you 2 more days to finish up the trial, just in case. So it was like, we'll have Monday, and then if necessary, Tuesday, and if necessary, Wednesday. Well, they've been, oh my God, they are not kidding around. They are fighting. Zombie Diamond is fighting tooth and nail and claw and everything. Everything you can think of, they're fighting because it's into the 3rd day. They're still at it. They're still at it. Supposedly, we're going to find out once and for all. The judge is going to decide and rule today who owns what and who gets to keep what. So I'm not at the court, and actually my lawyers are not there, but they're following the case. I won't get into, there's a lot of reasons why. It's super expensive. It's like really expensive. It's like something like, to be in court, it's like $15,000 to $20,000 per day to have a lawyer be in court. So that's why I don't have a lawyer in court. So, but the other people do. So we're going to find out what's going on. We'll find out if my books are going to get sold or if I can buy them back. If they can still steal my books and sell them illegally. But on top of that, it gets even crazier, is that to become and follow the rules of Chapter 11, you have to like put in all these bank statements, and you have to basically say how everything is doing. They have done none of that. They're months behind on basically everything they were supposed to do. They've not done, and the judge yelled at them. And if they don't do it, this is going to turn into Chapter 7. Which means they just sell everything and it's gone forever. And they're pretty sure, my lawyer and a lot of lawyers they think this is going to turn to Chapter 7 bankruptcy, not into Chapter 11, because no one's following the rules. No one knows where anything is. It's just a total mess. And
does that benefit you in any way if it changes from 11 to 7?
No, it does not really.
It's probably potentially worse if it changes.
No, not really. All that happens is
equal?
no. What's really going to happen is the judge will decide. That's what's going to happen. The judge is going to decide, and then that will be it. There could be appeals, but to be honest, the company that owes Chase money, I think they actually had to pay it back like this week. So that's why they're desperately, like, they've been real desperate to get this done because they owe $41 million and they have to pay it back now. And so that's why they want to get this figured out once and for all, because then if they can liquidate this, then they can basically get a loan on the loan. That's right. They can literally get a loan on the loan on the loan, so that they can pay off Chase part of the $41 million, because they use that against the upcoming sale of these books. If they don't, well, then they're going to have to come up with...
How is that not a Ponzi scheme to get a loan on the loan on the loan?
That's how it works, man. Welcome to America. You didn't know that? Come on, please.
Fair enough.
You can leverage your unrealized income from stocks to take out loans too.
Yeah, leverage. Yeah, everything can be leveraged, baby.
Well, I know you can get a loan on things, but getting a loan on the loan, like once you've got that many steps ahead, it feels like something is
isn't that what basically caused the housing crisis of 200008, right?
That's why they couldn't really...
It's almost like they should have regulated stuff, Mark, but strangely they didn't.
No, that's...
Well, at least the judge seems, from what I've seen from transcripts, pretty unsympathetic to some of the wild statements that the Zombie Diamond has been making.
Well, this judge is a real hard ass in a good way. They're very strict from what I've heard, and they're very by the book. So for example, one of the things is that to consider to be a consignment company, you have to have at least more than 20% of your sales by consignment. And what a coincidence! Zombie Diamond is saying, "Oh, we happen to have 19% of our, whatever the minute, just enough that we're not considered a consignment company, and all the other companies came on and said, wrong, here's all of our contracts, every single one of them is consignment. You're telling me that 81% of all the money you made off everyone was direct sales and not consignment, considering every single one of your companies has a consignment? It's like, come on, man, really? So that's something else. Like, they had to prove to the judge. They can't just say, they're like, yeah, actually it was 17.5. They said 17.5% of our sales are consignment. And so it doesn't hit the 20% requirement. And all of us said, wrong. I can't see how that's possible. So the judge basically said, okay, prove it. Prove that 17.5% of your sales are consignment. And there you go.
Couldn't, right?
Well, we don't know. I wasn't in court.
So far.
It doesn't look good for them. It doesn't look good. But who knows? Because they do have their own sales. Like, they do sell their own miniatures and their own product lines. So who knows? Maybe, you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe
they will. Maybe they'll be like, look, here's our graph.
I don't know.
17.5% was consignment.
Right.
40% was direct sales, and the remaining, what is that?
Well, it would be direct.
42.5%. We just stole it. We just stole it from you. It's technically not consignment.
All right. It's like,
we admit we stole it.
Stolen goods is not considered consignment, is it?
It was thievery.
Thievery, right. That's the pie chart. 17.5% is a consignment. The other percentage is direct sales. The other one is stolen goods.
Stolen goods. There's a place in your tax form for stolen goods. Yes. Right? Because that's how they got Al Capone.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
Well, no, and people always say you're more likely to get caught for tax evasion than you are for the actual crime of stealing the stuff.
Right. Well, here's the thing. It's so bad for them because if they are caught stealing, and then if I sue them, they have to pay like triple damages in some states, or quadruple. So like if they stole $100, they say, okay, you now owe me back $400. So it's like really not worth it for them to do this, which also is why they said, oh, they're basically stealing everything. And then they sell it, they make millions of dollars, and like, up chapter 7, sorry, too bad. We don't exist anymore. You get nothing. Welcome to America. Welcome to corporate America, buddy.
Don't catch you slipping now.
Oh, God. Anyhow, we'll find out once and for all, and then I'll tell you what happens to me. I did have a deal, though. I worked out a deal to get my books back, but this will supersede that. So, like, if they say, oh, it's not consignment, then I'll get all my books back. If that doesn't work, I have, in principle, a deal to get back my books.
And the deal that you had in principle sounded like was not terrible.
No, they changed it. They
have altered the terms of the deal. Pray they do not alter it further.
It actually was altered further, so it kept getting worse and worse. So
the original was actually not bad. You told me about the original.
It was a miscommunication, and then they decided, no, we draw a line in the sand is what we want. And I said, no.
That was not evil enough.
Pretty much. It's such a goddamn shit show. My camera's doing its thing where it tries to follow my hands. There we go. You guys have any fun news? Oh, wait. The other news is if you want to back, did you finish all the monsters? Are you done, Michael?
I turned him in yesterday.
Yeah, he turned him in. He's in his final review pass for the monsters.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you finish monster parts and did you finish the characters?
Wait, I thought we were having someone else do the monster parts.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
No, but he's going to work with Michael.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was the other person who was going to do the monster
parts.
No, he's
not doing the whole thing.
Was going to do the classes after.
I will say in support of Shadowzoo, but in general, it is so nice when a company or a group, because I actually had like a poll about this the other day, which is like, having been burned by several instances, I really like it when it's like, hey, this thing is basically done. There's layout and some art and things like that, but like the content is created. We might even be able to start sharing previews and stuff like that with you, as opposed to like the hope and a dream Kickstarter model.
The ones where they hadn't started yet, because the problem is that they need the money sometimes.
Right, I know, and that it is a catch-22, right? Where you're like, I can't work on this until you give me the money for this, so that I can go work on it. But that's how you end up in these like 2-3 year, 4-year things, and it's vaporware, and it never comes out, and maybe the project scope changes in dramatic. So one of the things that I really like, just specifically about most of your projects, but specifically this project, right, is Mike's been working on this for a long time.
Since like December.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Before even the campaign started, is what I'm saying. Right. Like you guys were really, you know, obviously you're in a position to do that, which is nice, but it does give that sort of consumer confidence to sort of know, hey, not only is this a group that knows what they're doing and can deliver, but the fact that the work is done, it's just always such like a nice thing to be able to rely on.
I think we might even be able to preview like the chapters. The chapter that is the monsters, which is a huge percentage of the book. Like,
not
yet. No, of course not yet. But I mean, like probably within a few months.
Oh yeah. Well,
Michael needs to finish his review. Steven needs to lay it out. It's going to take time.
What slowed us down is recreating 500 pieces of art in black and white.
Yeah,
that's what slowed us. Yeah, I have 3 artists. They are going very fast. They're doing I'm doing about 20 monsters a week or so, which is a lot.
That's blazing
fast. But still, when you have 500 pieces of art, it's still painfully slow in comparison. So
for this art, for the art direction, are you using your Battlezoo Bestiary art as sort of like a prompt?
Yes.
Like to the artist and saying, hey, this is what it looked like when it was vibrant and full of life and cute. Now give it to me grim, dark, and horrible.
Yeah. No, I have them just sort
with heavy inking.
Yes, pretty much.
I think it looks good. I think they did a really good job of translating it to the Shadowdark vibes. I'm really impressed with the artist. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's extremely impressive how they kept both the Battlezoo personality and the Shadowdark vibes from official Shadowdark books and like kind of synthesize those together to make something that is different than either of the 2 originals and that uses the strengths of black and white inking. Like there's this one that's a decapitated head that just has like so much even more detail in some of the features than was in the color.
Yeah,
so I think he did an amazing job.
He went crazy with that.
Steven, do you have any favorite pieces of art that you could share?
Yeah, actually I do. I'll bring this up.
So while he looks for that, I do have to ask a question, which is like, there's a famous monster. I think this would have been on the transversion list, right? You converted Battlezoo Bestiary 1, right? Or the first one, right?
All of them, baby.
Okay. He did all of them.
How do you? So there's very famously a monster which I hate in that book.
The mechanical
how do you convert
maitre d'?
something like the mechanical maitre d'? How do you convert that into Shadowdark? Right? Like, I just feel like some of again, I don't generally like bestiaries. That's just my thing. But like,
but he really hated that one.
I really hated that one. Some of the monsters in Battlezoo products are, cutesy and silly and I don't know. They're not Shadowdarky. Like, how do you take like something like the mechanical maitre d', which is like an android that walks around and serves you drinks and potions?
So I don't know. Ask him. He did it. Wait. Let Michael answer. Let Michael answer, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, so it's constructed. So you're going to have the constructed attribute to it, which is a similarity and is something that is an equivalent in Shadowdark. Essentially, doesn't require sleep or sustenance and is immune to morale checks. It has the ability, specifically the mechanical maitre d'. It has the talent called Statue, which is very similar to the talent that you would see with a animated armor, which is when something's standing still, it just looks like a statue. The noxious gases, which it has, it's able to vent a cloud of putrid gas from its food waste compartment, and then creatures within near have to make a check or they take damage from the noxious fumes. And then the more complicated one is the prepare and serve talent, where the maitre d' presents a magic infused food or drink from its torso and offers it to a creature within near. And then the effect is based on what the maitre d' chooses. So either heals 2d4 HP, adds 1d4 to the next attack roll or check, gain 1 gear slot for 1 day, which can be pretty big in Shadowdark, and then movement is doubled for an hour. So that is how that has been translated to Shadowdark. And then the attacks it has are 2 attacks with its carving knife. So yeah.
There you go. Well, he did it, man.
Dude, I mean, Derek, I would love to get your your thought? I mean, if you want to rip these things apart, honestly, if you want to take a look at them and be like, this does,
please don't.
No,
I'm all for it.
It's interesting to me because of the cross comparison, right? Where it's like,
Sure.
How do you make that monster, which is like, oh, hey, here, have a refreshing beverage, but also make it, I'm going to stab you to death with my carving knife while rotten putrid food makes you vomit to yourself to death, right? Like that's a tough balance to strike.
Well, it depends on your reaction roll, right? You don't know.
Correct.
If you're not sure how the maitre d' is going to react when you encounter them in whatever scenario that is.
Right.
They could be friendly, they could be suspicious of you, or they could be aggressive. And that kind of depends whether they're going to, fart on you or give you a nutritious meal, I guess.
Right, which makes it even more interesting, right? Because, like you said, there's that additional element of the reaction roll.
Yeah.
So I put up some. So I'm showing some art. No one's seen this. This was like literally brand new.
Ooh.
Like this one is actually one of my absolute favorites.
Oh, even I hadn't seen some of these.
No, yeah.
What is
Aaron Tada I hadn't seen yet.
Yeah, like this is
what's going on there? What's going on there between its legs, Stephen?
That is its tail. I don't know.
That's its tail.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm glad. I'm glad to
And
hear
that's
that.
its face and its hands
Its
because
face
it
and its
actually
hand.
uses
Yeah.
its head as like a shield.
Yeah,
We're going
And,
old school. We're going
Yeah.
old school Errol Otis, Trampier Sutherland art, and we're just full genitals out.
Oh man, dude! Hey, it's Shadowdark. What do you want? Hey, this
By
is
the
actually
way-
one of my favorites. Look at this one. This one's fantastic.
That one's sick.
Is that a Modron riding a hippogriff?
No,
No,
it's the same Aaron Tada
Oh,
creatures with their
Aragana.
head off on the side. You can even see it kind of off the side of the
Mhm.
falcon, and they're riding on a
Yeah.
falcon.
And here is
Got it.
their. This is an Aragata swarm, actually, but you can see
Yeah,
there.
that's the swarm of Aaron Tadas.
You know, so that one I love that one.
Yeah.
Where do you come up with these names?
We didn't come up with the
We
name
don't
Aaron
come up with
Tada.
the
That
name.
was the person who entered the.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bestiary.
that's right.
Sometimes we do rename them for alphabetization because we need odd even parity before we get to a family that has to be on a
Oh wait,
spread.
take a look at this one. Take a look at this one, Mark. So this used to be a very happy, fluffy bunny creature, the Banog. Now
They
it's
were
been,
not that happy and fluffy. They were
look at him
they
now.
were chaotic evil with human ears.
I know, but look at how he's been shadowfied big time on this one.
Yeah.
I mean,
Those teeth, sharp
Yeah, I think
incisors capable of biting. That rodent's got a mean streak about a mile wide.
I mean, it's named after the killer rabbit of Kerbanog, presumably.
Presumably.
That's one of
And-
my favorite, the bathtub ooze. People love that one. Look, he actually gave it a little bit of a face too this time. But look, even like the bathtub,
Ooh.
everything's Shadowdark vibe. Like
No,
it's,
this is great.
I know he did a really
Absolutely.
good job.
Yeah.
It's recognizably still our Banog and
Yeah.
Bathtub, but it really feels more Shadowdarky to me.
Raise your hand if you have fought and battled in a real game. Not some playtest, but a real game, and you've fought and defeated a bathtub ooze.
You have. I know you have. There's some good ones. Here's some new ones.
Only there.
Bob was able to recognize the ambush when Smith described the rubber ducky.
There you go.
So,
Unfortunately, while I have fought and battled many of the original Battlezoo
Oh, this
Bestiary
one too.
monsters
Look at this
in
one.
Jewel of the Indigo Owls,
this is one of my absolute
there's
favorites.
no official adventures with strange and unusual monsters yet, so I've only fought them in playtests.
That's
look
a
at the
great
bull,
piece of
look at
art.
the bullfish. Look at that
Yeah, that's-
thing.
That's a great piece of art. That's good.
I mean,
That feels very old school, Shadowdarky.
yeah.
Like you're like, what is going on here? Some terrible, horrible truth awaits us.
It's like, why is this goblin carrying around a goldfish bowl?
I mean, we were talking about it, but I think this art is very successful in merging the Battlezoo style with Shadowdark, and that was what I was going for with the monster design itself too. Is I think that the monsters are, they're definitely Shadowdark, but they definitely have a Battlezoo roll for combat vibe to them.
I mean,
which
here's,
think people
here's
are really
another
gonna
one.
enjoy.
This has completely been shadowfied, but it's very.
Yeah.
If you put the art like back to back, you can also see this is not even anywhere close to the artist just kind of doing the same piece.
No, he redoes
but
them.
in black and white and with the ink strokes. In many cases, it's just like completely different pose
this
for
one's
the creature or like the bathtub and the bathtub ooze, and they really did a lot to make it match the style.
Well, this one's completely different. The celestial geometry. Like he just completely redid this one, and this one looks amazing. I like this one quite a bit. It's one of the most complex. This one, I
Yeah,
had
because
to
it
have
has all the different dice
very
type
hard to
platonic
do.
solids on that are attached to its orrery.
Very hard. And this one's completely redone. Yeah.
Stephen, I don't want to speak for you, but I imagine that people will be getting some of these very soon because they are going to need them to start writing dungeons for the dungeon design contest.
Yes
right?
and no, yeah, but I'm not sure how we're going to give it to them. We probably we'll just give them the stats.
Okay.
I think it's just going to be the stats,
Yeah.
so that
We'll
because the art's
share-
not done yet.
We'll just share my spreadsheet. It'll be fine.
Well, we're going to do something similar to that. No, not the full. We're going to do something like a limited version.
With the low-level creatures,
Like the low
because the
level.
adventures are low level.
So I also will say, as an outsider, another thing that I do really appreciate. Well, I appreciate. I actually appreciate both sides here. I really appreciate that because I mean, obviously, not that I'm in the know, but I'm in the know a little bit. Is that like originally you guys were like, cool, we're going to take our existing Battlezoo line and we're going to convert it into Shadowdark, and we're going to work with Michael, and we're going to update the stats, and we're going to produce it in our very
oh wait, this one's green
Battlezoo format. We're going to produce it in this sort of roll for combat style, and we can reuse certain art assets and covers, and we could do this. And the Shadowdark people, to their respect, were like, no color, no vibrancy. We want black and white, grim dark. Like it needs. What do you mean? What do you mean? The format has to be like a Shadowdark book. What do you mean like a Shadowdark book? There's one Shadowdark book, and they're like, no, it has to fit. It has to match. And to its credit, Roll for Combat. Mark and Steven said, okay. We're gonna go back to the drawing board. We're gonna completely redo our layout so that it fits in that design parameter. We're gonna order new pieces of art for everything.
Yeah, just order 500 pieces of art. It's like no big deal.
So it's like I mean, between the monster redesign, the art redesign, the layout redesign, these are literally just 3 completely new books.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not trying to say like that, but there was probably part of them where like, oh, this would be great. We can reuse a lot of this, and then suddenly it turns into no. You're basically redoing the whole thing from scratch.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's still a good starting point.
Yeah, of course.
To be clear, it's helpful, but we also want to be respectful to any game system that we're designing for. And I think this is a show of that dedication.
Correct.
It was proof, almost in a sense of like, I guess, peacocks have very bright feathers as show of indication, but this is like the opposite of that, because instead of having the bright colors, we have black and white as a show of dedication to how much it matters to make sure we get Shadowdark.
Here's the extra toe, by the way. Look at how nasty. The original extra toe was just kind of like, kind of silly. This thing's just all out gross.
So with these artists, did you send them a PDF and be of the Shadowdark and be like, this is the style we're going for? Or
this is all one guy.
What was that?
One person. Yeah, it's one guy.
Wow. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's cranking. I have others too. But...
Do people know too, Derek? Do you know that there's a stretch goal that involves Kelsey writing some extra monsters for this bad boy?
I did not know that.
Yes, that's right. Look at this. This is the fluffy bunny. This one you'll like. This is the imaginary friend. No, the fosterkin. The
fosterkin.
It's the imaginary friend come to life that like attacks people. No, that's the different one. That's the.
That's a different one. There is the Chosantor is an imaginary friend.
Right. I already passed one.
The fosterkin, I think, adopts.
They do. They adopt
some kind of kids, which could be from any ancestry or even a monster kid or something that doesn't have parents and then protects them.
Yeah, they're protecting.
So Mark, you were really impressing me with how you are knowing the names of these things.
Oh, Mark's insane.
How many?
I know all of these.
If I just said name as many Battlezoo monsters from the top of your head as you could right now, how many do you think you could name out of the 430 or whatever?
That's the problem. Is that's too unspecific.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Battlezoo 1.
What? I know. The problem is that like it's naming them out of the blue is very different than naming them with a slight prompt towards like which is the one that is this type of thing, and then I could name. You see what I'm saying? Where it's like, is it the imaginary friend? Oh yeah, I know which one that is. Which is the one that is like, I don't know. What's the name of that weird demon that creates paradoxes and just recreates reality in its own favor to defeat the PCs? It's the time demon, Oligtharu, right? So
the real question
to remember when you asked me, like,
which are you going to get first on your shelf if you're a backer? Shadowzoo or Western Reaches?
It's going to be close, I think.
Are they gonna like come in the same week?
It's going to be pretty close. It's going to be pretty close. Well, I can do layout very fast, especially for these. I can crank through layout.
Like my Shadowdark collection went from one book and some zines to like 7 hardcovers.
It's kind of the whole point. By the way, this is an example of like the original guillotine head was okay in terms of grossness, but this guy turned it up to 11.
Yeah.
This guy went all out.
The art really reminds me of like 80s horror film kind of looking,
You said the 2 magic words. 80s horror film. There we go. That's all you have to say, and that's
not the 2 magic words. 80s and film. Period. Even if
you put horror in there, you just make it all the better. But now I'm trying to think. So anyhow, that's just a very small portion. Although here's some interesting ones. Actually, these are new. No one's seen these. Hold on, I'm going to show you something interesting. The artist who originally did the color version, who also did the color, he did the cover of the first Battlezoo Bestiary. He wanted to do his own, so he is doing a whole bunch of these in black and white, and he is doing them. He is doing both the color and the black and white version. So he redid his own. So this is a different artist. This is the guy who literally.
So you have 2 artists in total.
I have 4 artists in total.
Oh, okay.
But
this does seem like you can tell
it's a different style. It's different style. Well, it's his monster. He did the originals. So he's like, oh, can I do mine in black and white? I was like, yeah, of course. And so he did. He's doing others besides these.
Yeah.
But yeah. So these are different styles. Whoops. Like you can see this guy actually is more of a line art style. And each one of them are subtly different, but that's okay. Like this guy is more of a heavy shading style.
It's got that's the Torah that we just went by there.
Which one?
The one with the Star of David on the cover.
Oh, that is the scroll mold.
Yeah, it was hard to tell that it was a scroll mold because of the book, but then it was coming out of the scroll case.
Yeah, it's a scroll mold. Oh yeah, it just happens to have whatever is there.
Whereas here I can see salt stalkers and their sort of family of creatures. Oh no, it's kind of gone past that now.
Wow.
That may be a salt mother.
Or above it. It was Orb of Insanity, the Nobbler.
Right, that monster is very useful if you need to defeat a librarian monster, or if you need to successfully complete your bar mitzvah. Oh.
Hey, very good. By the way, that scroll mold is one of the best monsters in Jewel the Indigo Isle because the scroll mold takes what you're looking for and then runs away with it. So because it's literally you're looking for a scroll, and then that's what it's actually a very useful monster because it's just smart enough to know how to run away with the loot, and you're like, come back. It's like, but then if you fight it, you might destroy the loot if you're not careful. So
like those little gremlin monsters that would come steal your magic in Golden Axe when you were camping.
Did you ever come across those on the trail?
Mice. Mice ate my food once. That happened.
I once, more than once, I would wake up with a big hole in my tent and the food gone.
Yeah. That's why you're supposed. Well, I mean,
I know you're supposed to tie it up. By the
way, you're supposed to hang your food.
Here's your favorite monster. Look at that! I got the I had it done with the high tech. The mechanical maitre d'. Look at that sucker, huh?
There you go.
Man, that mechanical maitre d's got some cake.
I know. Yeah, well, I guess we know Derek's type. There we go. I didn't know you were into AI that much. I mean, come on.
Listen,
takes all types.
Yeah,
I think it's enough monsters.
It's a trauma thing at this point.
It's trauma. It's like my whole life is dedicated
it's like
to AI
syndrome.
now.
They just it hurt me so much.
They've hurt me so much.
Ultron. The 48 hours remaining email, did that go out yet?
No.
It's not quite 48. It's 55 now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it?
Yeah.
Because it ends on midnight at the end of Friday Eastern time.
Yeah, so
Saturday.
No, midnight on
or 11:59 on Friday, right as it turns
yeah.
into Saturday.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't never put down midnight. That's an old trick. You never put down midnight because depending on how the computer system works, it might get the wrong day. So you always
so
do
it
a day
technically
before
does
or
say
after.
11:59 p.m.
Yeah.
I also always do that on anything that's supposed to be midnight, just in case.
Yep. Funny thing, I was born on the stroke of midnight. How about that?
Literally on the stroke of midnight. Which day did you have as your birthday then?
That is the story. I was born on the stroke of midnight in an Air Force base, okay, in Biloxi, Mississippi. And they didn't know which day to put down on their birth certificate, if it was the 8th or the 9th, because it was stroke of midnight. So they had to look it up. And according to what they can find, the stroke of midnight is the last second of the last day. So I'm born on the 8th. And it says in my birth certificate 2,400 hours. There you go.
Not quite the same, but I always thought it was cool. My sister was born on September 12th, and her husband was born on September 13th. And they got married on basically midnight between their birthdays at Vegas. Cool. And so they celebrate their birthdays and their anniversary at like midnight between the two.
Well, my old company, my vice president, Tara, her birthday was December 7th. So mine was December 8th. So basically, it was always a fun couple of days.
Right. And then, every time it was your birthday, she'd wish you a happy birthday. And then you would go, yesterday, December 7th, 1994, a date which will live in infamy. Tara was suddenly and deliberately born. Anyways.
I'll send her that clip. She'll appreciate it. Tara is a born-again geek, by the way. She is one of my favorite born-again geeks. She... I've mentioned her before on the show. It's like she went to school. She brought her typewriter with her when she went to Syracuse. Of course, we're old. So, and then she discovered, and she went into design, and they started to use computers just back in the 80s, when computers were still running on coal. And she was still learning how to use computers, but she loved it. I mean, she as a natural, and she just wouldn't stop. And actually, I taught classes at NYU. That's how I met her, is that I was teaching classes, and she came to one of my classes, and we had a lot in common. She was actually from where I live, so we met, and then I hired her. And then she has a son, and her son is like a hardcore. He loves Doctor Who. He's really into Minecraft. It's he's the biggest geek, and she loves it. But it's funny because she didn't get into geekdom until she was 20, 21. And before that, she's like, where was this my whole life? I love hearing stories like that. Anyhow,
I want to address Junk Bucket 50's question about doing a successful Shadowdark Kickstarter. And I just want to say, make sure you're part of the community. Make sure you're active on the Discord and you're making friends there, because I think people want to support people they know. And if you haven't yet, on Drive-Thru-RPG, someone, I forgot the guy's name, but he has a YouTube channel, just released I think it's a Pay What You Want zine about publishing for Kickstarter that I think is really good. And I contributed some tips too. So Junk Bucket 50, go out and find that and give it a little read. But the third-party publishing scene is definitely exploding for Shadowdark, and because people are hungry for more.
Mm-hmm.
People want it.
Yeah, doing a successful Kickstarter is really hard. that is.
I mean, small scale. If you're
you don't have to be $260,000 to be a successful Kickstarter. If
you're just doing a zine,
What do you think about? I mean, anything to avoid the. By the way, number one, fool me once, right? Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Okay, and I'm going to reverse that. Fool you once, shame on us. Fool you twice, shame on you. Anybody who's coming here who thinks that we are going to jump immediately into some obviously clickbait title is delusional. Okay, of course we're going to talk about other things. We got to always.
I mean, to be fair, Derek. Sometimes recently we have jumped into the topics.
Yeah, when Steve is not around.
Used to do the mini topics in advance.
What? How dare you? How dare you? We had good news this week.
Mark and I went straight in.
I know.
Talked about nothing but for 2 hours.
No, you didn't. You talked about everything except the topic. You're talking around the topic. You never even talked directly. You were talking.
The whole premise was about the topic. Anyways,
the entire thing was about the topic.
What do you think about the nature of Kickstarters which are, and this is in specifically to the modern era / the tariff era / the shipping era / these small independent people. Because I feel like where a lot of Kickstarters get, screwed is when they start trying to print a physical product. So what do you think about, do you think Kickstarters can be successful digital only? Not like, oh, we only have a digital, like not, oh, there's a digital offering. I mean, having no.
Well, you're literally
offering.
talking to the right people, since I have like one of the most successful digital only Kickstarters in history. So
it's true that Kickstarter was freaking out about one of Steven's digital only ones. They were sure that people weren't going to back it as much, and they were very surprised that he made like I think low six figures on a digital only. They were like, we did not expect that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and there's also with print-on-demand options through drive-through, and Mixam's trying to get more into the print-on-demand game. There are options for people where they can have physical products without having to deal with inventory or anything like that. And that's just definitely a small-time zine Kickstarters are going that way in abundance of saying, hey, like you're paying for a print-at-cost copy of the zine. When this is done, we're going to send you a code. You put that into Drive-Thru RPG. They print it, they ship it, and it's really not that much more effort for the publisher other than having to lay it out in very weird ways for Drive-Thru RPG that's very annoying. But once you get past that, it's not that tough. The quality of print on demand is sus.
Yeah, that's the problem. But you know what? I'm going to talk about something real quick that no one's really talked about ever. Yet, because no one knows about it, but I will. You see this book?
Yes.
Battle Cry?
Mm-hmm.
What does that say right there?
Printed.
What do you mean nobody's talked about that yet? A bunch of people talked about that.
Oh, really? Who else? I didn't hear any other. I didn't see any YouTubers talking about it.
Yeah, YouTubers weren't, but it was all over like Reddit and various different.
I only talk about the YouTube universe. I do not talk about other universes. They do not exist to me.
Very few people talk about Pathfinder that much on YouTube.
Printed in China.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because I spoke to some people, aka everyone at Paizo that I know, and
the scoop.
Well, I know all the scoops, of course. I actually know who they use because I almost use them, and I have friends who use them.
This is the yearbook printer.
Yes, it's the yearbook printer. So the only people who can print books like this are people who print yearbooks. Okay, which makes sense because think about a yearbook. Yearbooks are big, they're colorful, they have special types of paper, special types of inks and stuff.
You're not telling me, buddy. I was on the yearbook committee.
Oh yeah, well, okay. I guess you're geekier than me. I was not on the yearbook. I was on everything but the yearbook committee. Those losers.
So the yearbook committee had to come talk to you every time to get you into all of the different clubs.
I know. But if you see the paper quality, it's not quite. It's hard to pick up. I
don't think you can tell that from your camera, Steven.
I know you can't tell it, but it's wavy. There's like issues in it. It's the
kind of difference that as Mark Seifter, who is not a paper snob, cannot tell. But many people online were able to distinguish.
I didn't notice, but now that you've mentioned it, I can notice.
You see, as soon as I said it, you're like, wait, oh crap, there is.
It's thinner, and it feels like less glossy, like less. It feels a little stickier, almost more toothy.
Well, I'll tell you. Well, because they're using recycled paper.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
It would feel like it feels like it'd be more prone to tearing.
The thing is it's not. The problem with it is that, and Mark and Derek and I talk about this all the time, is that the suppliers, they get all their supplies from China. So even if it's printed in the United States, they still have to get everything from China. So it doesn't save you that much. And so Paizo did try this, and they did it very quickly. This and one of their adventure paths was printed in the US. I think it's this one. I think this one was printed. Let's see.
Well, look in the back and see.
No, that one's printed in China. Which is the one that was printed in the US? This one. So this is the new one. The Myth-Speaker one. This one's printed in the United States. And let's see. I'm trying to feel. I'm getting super geeky. I'm like trying to feel the difference.
anything to avoid talking about D&D as a board game.
Oh, I'm gonna get there. Oh no, I could tell, right? Oh yeah, no, this paper is definitely, the China paper is a little slicker. It's definitely, oh yeah, it's much nicer. It's sort of a slick.
That being said,
that's actually not bad. This is not bad.
No, it's not. I didn't notice until you brought it up.
Yeah, but look at that. Like, you see that? Look, they glued.
Oh yeah,
that's a bad. That I hate when they do this. Look, so you can't see. So, but they see how much they glued. So they glued it so close to the spine that you can't even see the people's names. Like, that's a big no-no. I actually know why they did that. I won't get into it. Oh, you know what that is?
To prevent it from falling apart?
No, they screwed up the cover. And they had to reprint the cover, and then so they don't pulp the middle, they tear it off, and then so that's why it has to get glued closer.
No,
you know why I know that?
Because you had to do that before.
Well, no, because he is it?
No.
You know what? I know that.
I thought it was just because someone told you that they screwed up the cover.
Because someone screwed up their own cover. Battlezoo Misfit Dragons. That's not Misfit Dragons. That's Leshy Dragons.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I, myself, look at that. I got this, and I said, oh, shit. So they had to...
That's going to be a rare collector's item, which is the only Battlezoo Leshy Dragons
There's
that
only
said
5. Well, there were 2,000 of them.
Wow.
But they got those got pulped. So yes, so I found out how they do it is that they take it, they tear it off, and then they put it back on. So this inside didn't have to get reprinted. Good news is it wasn't that expensive. But I also have that issue. So but for me, it's the cover, so it's not quite as bad.
No, I see. It's only the cover page and not the table.
It's not,
contents.
but like, they don't do. So they had to. It's subtle, but this one's a little lower. It's hard to tell, but they do. They rip it off and then they re-glue it, but they can't put the glue in the same place, so it's to go up a little bit.
I don't know why I always think Varesia isn't as far north as it is. It is.
It is. It's about where the Pacific Northwest is, Eric. It's meant to be where like Washington State is.
Gotcha.
So this is how I know all these little things, because it happened to me. I learned my lesson, actually, because that... I can't believe that really pissed me off, and especially a good thing I caught it before I went out. I was like, what? How'd that actually happen? But I have so many things in front of me. Also, now I asked them, I said, look, guys, I literally said to the printer, I'm like, by the way, if you see that it's wrong, tell me. And they're like, okay. I mean, I think they knew, and they just didn't say anything, which I was a little upset about, but it was fine. It was not that expensive to fix, thank God, because it was just one thing I had to reprint.
Do you guys want to hear a story about me putting my foot in my mouth at Gen Con?
Yeah. Is it 1 foot or both?
Maybe both.
All right.
So we're at this glass cannon party. Steve and I know that you knew everyone there, and I was in line for the very slow bar.
And you couldn't believe it. You couldn't believe I do them.
Yeah. And I'm chatting with Eric Mona and just like making small talk because we're waiting for drinks. And, I feel like I have to justify to everyone why I'm there because nobody knows who I am or anything like that. So, I'm chatting with him and there's a lull in the conversation and I say, oh, hey, have you heard that? And then I was realizing what I was saying a little bit too late and blurted out, oh, that Glass Cannon's moving to Shadowdark for their next campaign. And he just went, yeah. And I feel like a real ass because they're moving away from Pathfinder. So definitely.
And Eric has been on guest shows with them when they were doing it
many times. That's right.
They're still doing some Pathfinder stuff though. So I just felt like a jerk.
Oh, Jess is on the chat. Michael, just tell them you're Jessica Redicop. There you go.
There you go.
Eric's cool. He knows. It's like they weren't going to they'll probably keep in mind Glass Cannon does like 5 different shows. So I'm sure they're still going to be doing Pathfinder.
He knows, but I see why Michael felt awkward though, because being someone who is like working with Arcane Library and doing that would be like, suppose that back in time Critical Role decided to switch back to Pathfinder and we're back in time and like you or like something like Eric went up to Jeremy Crawford and said, hey, did you know that Critical Role has switched back to doing Pathfinder instead of
That would have been great.
Instead of D&D, right? Like, even if he did it by accident and he wasn't thinking about it, like, it could still be awkward.
That is the ultimate chicken and the egg, isn't it?
Well, no,
right? Did
Critical
Role is 5th edition, the game it is, with the zeitgeist that it has, because Critical Role switched to 5th edition, or did Critical Role become Critical Role because they switched to 5th edition?
The second one. There you go.
I think that it is a combination of both.
It's a combination of 10.
Damn you with your equivocating.
Well, no,
Mark.
it's a combination of that and the COVID. Like, if it wasn't for COVID, that definitely would not. It would not
just switching was not enough on
its own.
It definitely did help 5e, but I think 5e would have been okay without it. Whereas, much as I would have loved if Critical Role stayed with Pathfinder, I would have loved it, but they wouldn't have. I don't think they would have.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It would have been. There's only one thing that matters, and that's Stranger Things.
Well, I'm going to.
What if Stranger Things played Pathfinder?
Yeah, right.
You know?
Was it supposed to be in the 80s?
The problem is it didn't exist in the 80s.
This is a famous. There's a famous thing, which is that in the movie E.T., which obviously became one of the biggest movies of all time, there were 2 product placements that they wanted to put in the movie. They wanted to put in M&Ms, and they wanted to have them playing D&D.
Correct.
And M&M said no, and D&D said no, so they had to play, Monsters and Mazes, Tunnels. It wasn't.
No,
D&D.
they never said what it was.
They never said what it was. That's what I said. It was left undescribed.
And then Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, but that was
which
blew up. Yeah, it became one of the best-selling products that year. I remember that. That was a big story when I was alive and kid back then. It gets even better. Are you ready for this? I will tell you something that no one knows. Are you ready?
Even you don't know it.
This is the 3rd or 4th thing that you've revealed.
That's right.
That nobody knows on this podcast.
Possibly know.
Even Steven doesn't know it.
Oh, come on. I gave you a couple of things. Did you know that I misprinted the front of the cover?
No, we did not know that.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, that's what. But to quote Jason Keeley. No, not Jason Keeley. Oh, what's his name? The game show world premiere. I'm watching the Gamescom where everything's a world premiere there this week. Anyhow, what the hell was I going to say? Oh, so when D&D was negotiating with Larian to do Baldur's Gate 3, they had 2 options. It was either that Baldur's Gate 3 was going to be either a 60-40 split or a 40-60 split, which was that, like, basically
co-finance.
Right. And that they were going to do either, like, depending on who controlled more, like, and that was the original deal. But then when they went to them and said, hey, which do you want to do? Like the 40-60, but also the 40-60, to be fair, means that they had to put more money in. And so what D&D said, they're like, screw that. We'll just do a licensing deal. They do everything and we get 5%. And they said, okay. And the rest is history because they've made, I think, almost $2 billion now since. Remember, how do you make $1 billion off D&D? Well, there was one way.
Right.
Well, do you know who did know that, Stephen? Ben Riggs, everyone who sold out panel at Gen Con, and everyone
I didn't
who
see that
the
panel.
recording of that came out.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, was that just? Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He put it out on his Reading D&D Aloud podcast that came out 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
it's a good listen.
I didn't know that.
They also said his source at Wizards said if we had partnered with them, we would have forced that game to come out years earlier, and it would have been a lot worse for it.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And then therefore, so 40% of a bad game that didn't sell well might not have been as good as 5% of a good game that sold well, and that Wizards had to do less work to partner with them.
It's interesting because 5th edition, I still can't quite figure out like you're obviously turning into a board game thing, but it's like who are they trying to target at this point?
Now we're gonna get into that. So let's get into that.
Great segue, Derek.
Great segue. You did it.
You did it.
Okay.
You did it,
so let's back up. Let me give you the whole thing. Okay. Back in the day, there was this guy. You do know Rob Duval. He's the person who has invented the Legacy board game, and he was meeting with Hasbro, and he joked about why the characters of Clue keep having the same dinner party when someone keeps getting murdered. And he said, wouldn't that be great if they could remember like what happened? And they were joking about it. But then he's like, wait a second, that's actually a good idea. So he actually pitched a Clue Legacy board game to Hasbro. They said no, but then he did pitch the Risk Legacy board game, which is true, which became Risk Legacy, the very first Legacy board game ever made, which Risk Legacy. What?
You can blow up the loon.
Yes, it's so good, Risk Legacy. Anyhow, and that thing exploded in popularity. But what really put it on the map was then Pandemic Legacy came out. And
it was
then
number one on Board Game Geek for years.
Yo, number one forever. Until Gloomhaven, which is another legacy board game, took off. So the funny thing is, board games used to be just one and dones. Now, every single board game is a legacy board game. For better or for worse, they're all these games that you could remember. Now, one thing they did before they did the legacy board game is they did a huge amount of product testing and focus grouping. One of the things they found out is what is the number one thing that people like about a board game. Number one is, do you know?
It's
pieces, nature.
It's easy to teach and easy to play.
The number one thing people like about the game is opening it up. That's their favorite thing. And that is why there's so many boxes and envelopes in legacy board games, because it is by far the number one thing that people like to do is open stuff.
You know,
that's so exhausting and soul draining, but true, probably.
Oh, it's
just like the people who watch those eggs being open on YouTube and give it billions of views or whatever.
They said number one, last.
For example, no. You know what? Yeah. You know what's more popular? You know what's more popular than streaming Magic the Gathering?
Watching Magic the Gathering.
No.
Opening the booster packs.
Oh, right.
Doing box breaks.
Yeah, box breaks. Yep. Yeah.
Box breaks. Yeah.
That's people love
way
those.
more popular.
Oh, yeah.
Way more popular. People would rather watch the cards be opened out of packs than watch people actually play the game with them.
Yes. So
it makes me want to fucking kill myself.
Well, anyhow, by the way, last on the list in the focus group was learning how to play the board game. So number one was opening the board game, and number zero was learning the board game.
That I can attest.
I feel so happy to be the opposite of the normal things from the focus group.
Back to this.
I'm the only guy who is like, I want to learn the board game and I want to read the rules and see why the rules are bad or good.
That's why you are Mark and I am not Mark.
Mark refuses to buy new board games because he wants them pre-opened.
Yeah.
No. I'm actually totally fine with opening them too, but I always want to read the rules. And if somebody's like, no, I will teach you how to play. The rules are really badly written and you won't be able to understand it from them. Then I'm like, now I want to read the rules even more because I don't want to make a mistake like what these designers do. If you're really right and the rules won't teach it to me, why don't they teach it to me? Like, what's wrong with these rules?
So anyhow, with that in mind, let's cut to the new beginner's box. So the new beginner's box for Heroes, we'll get to the super chats in a second. For the new Heroes of the Borderlands D&D Starter Set, they did extensive testing when they built it, and they used, quote, average people who don't know how to play D&D, and they purposely made this as much of a board game as possible. In fact, their big part of the advertising is you can literally sit down and start playing within minutes. And they are specifically using all these board. Now, we've talked about it. Like, you started off as like, oh, they've always said it's a board game. Not like this. This is new because they're literally specifically making the starter set using tons of research, but both what they've used in legacy games as well as research they did when they're building this to make it so that you sit down, you get a character sheet with cards, which is having a moment because suddenly cards are all the rage. Daggerheart, right? Everyone's using these cards. And they found out that one of the biggest ways to learn while you're playing is to have tactile responses and feels while you're actually playing. And theater of the mind and all that crap, terrible, absolutely terrible for retention. It's terrible to learn, and it's terrible to get people involved and interested. But if you have an actual character cards with a character sheet and things they're physically using to cast spells and do abilities, the retention is through the roof. So,
I mean, you don't have to tell me that. I did that same research for Pathfinder's beginner box.
There you go.
I told them, make an action card that has little tokens for your 3 actions and your reaction. And if you can, make little spell cards for your spell slots that you use up. They could not make all of the spell cards with pictures for the spell slot. That was like too much to put in.
Do the spells are this long?
What? No. The spells would fit. It would make the box cost too much if every spell that was in there had like a picture, like I was saying, with all the text on it as cards that you would use for your like spell book.
So let's jump into Daggerheart, because one of the best parts about Daggerheart, Mr. Daggerheart, Derek, the way they do the character sheet is absolutely fantastic. I love the character sheet. I love how it has one side where the cards go, and then it has, you take those other 2 pieces of paper and you slip them on your character sheet, and it points, you know what I'm talking about, where it points to everything on the character sheet. So you know exactly what you're looking at, because it was very easy for me to learn the game. And then with the cards, you know exactly what spells you have. You know exactly what items you have. And they've been doing this for years. There's item packs. Everyone's been doing this, but they're going one step above. They're making this really part of the game. Both
they're making it mandatory because it's part of your sheet rather than a separate second thing.
And when it comes to actually making money, well, it's kind of a nice thing, but you can buy spell cards, you can buy spell decks, or you can buy character classes. And Daggerhearts, what's their next Kickstarter?
The class packs.
Right, class packs. And what does WoTC know how to do really, 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 really well?
Microtransactions?
Cards. They know how to print cards better than anyone. No, they're not. They're actually suck at microtransactions compared to video game companies. They're amateur hour.
I mean, if you consider a pack a microtransaction, then they're really good.
Well,
yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, well, in that case, then they're the kings.
Yeah.
But my point is...
Actually, you know what they're really good at? Macro transactions.
Yeah, they're not even... Like, why buy the pack when you could buy a case?
Well, yeah, I mean, anybody who's ever bought a secret lair knows what it's like to wait in line so that you can pay $150 to buy 6 cards from them. So
wait, here's what I propose. This is what I'm putting out there. Is this actually even a bad thing? Because I'm like, wait a second. Let's take a look. The cards, I love the cards for Shadowdark. Not Shadowdark, yeah, Shadowdark. For Daggerheart. I love the cards. I think they look great. I love the idea that you have cards, and then just like Gloomhaven, where you want to know what actions are you taking for your character for this adventure? And
I'll break it down for you.
Yeah,
I'll answer it for you right now.
Derek, you know a lot about this.
Mr. Daggerheart.
He's Mr. Daggerheart and Mr. Gloomhaven because he's played both.
Here's the problem.
Mr. Yearbook.
Mr. Yearbook. Oh, gee, that's the best one.
Okay, so there's kind of 2 parts to this. They both apply. The first is there is a not small amount of people who have what I will only describe as a visceral, vomitous reaction to anything that they consider to be gamey.
Yeah, but they're by far the minimum. I'm going to already.
And secondly,
they are the minority.
And secondly, I'm going to highlight this. Your Daggerheart cards are really cool and everything's really slick until the first time you as a player or you as a GM want to make your own ability. And now you have to what? Print it out. Now, yeah, they gave you the card printer. They got the card creator online. It's free. It's really cool. But do you have a $10 million card printer at your house? Are you printing it out on a piece of paper and cutting it out with some scissors? Probably. And for a lot of people, that's going to be very unsatisfying. And so a lot of people, and I know this because I know that people do this with their board games. They go, I play with what's in the box. And I think that what it can end up doing is for some people, it can end up feeling like, well, I'm only going to use the options that they give me. And potentially, I think and this is something we have discussed on our show, the quote-unquote board gamification. Again, I like it. But for others, it maybe becomes a problematic problem for third-party publishers. Because if I, Derek, release a third-party product, a new domain for Daggerheart, everyone's like, that's cool. Where are your cards? And I go, well, I don't have cards. You just write them on your character sheet. And they're like, write them on my character sheet? No, I need cards. If I don't have cards, I'm not going to play with your game. It becomes like the Boundary VTT module, right?
It becomes a barrier to entry for people who don't have a lot of money to get into.
You're looking at this so wrong.
Do you know who solved this problem, Derek? The homebrew problem? Our good friend JP Couvert, who has these spell cards in his box set that are awesome, but he includes 8 blank cards that have the backs, so that GMs can make their own spells and put them on there.
That is a fantastic idea.
I think a lot of those things include blank cards, but the problem is then
Daggerheart did not.
Daggerheart did. A lot of them do. And the problem is that even then you still have to either write it on or you print out on regular paper and then put that onto the blank card. At least it has the good back, which is a huge win.
You're looking at this as a downside. If I am running WoTC or in these companies, I look at this as an upside because I'm like, that's what I want. I want them to come and buy my stuff. I literally don't want them to make their own things. That's the last thing I want them to do. I want them to buy everything officially and have to come to me for the official cards and have to come to me for the official monsters and everything else. Like that's a benefit.
Well, Derek never said he was looking at it as the CEO of Hasbro here.
Right. I'm looking at
but you're looking at it.
The consumer, the customer.
I know, but the number of people who play TTRPGs. Did you see that number? So, the Final Fantasy, Magic set made on the very first day, it made $200 million on day one.
Yep.
They said that's probably more than like D&D starter set, or any single product of D&D is made in its entire lifetime. It's like insane how much money they made. And that's the point, is that if they gamify this and turn this into more of a board game and less of a imagination game, because you cannot sell
You can't sell people imagination.
What?
You can't sell people imagination.
No, you
know how I know this?
You can't.
You know how I know this?
Why?
You know how I know this? Because
Why?
I was deep in the sauce in the early 2000s playing D&D. And lo and behold, D&D 3rd edition, by the way, now owned by Wizards of the Coast, which, by the way, made $1 quadrillion in the 90s to the point where they could just buy TSR and write their debtors a check and say, keep the change.
Well, that was magic money.
Okay? That's what I'm saying. It's magic money.
Right.
So what did D&D do? Now, this kind of backfired on them, kind of, but not really, but it kind of did. They made D&D 3rd edition. And I don't think people realize this or appreciate this, but this set the tone for the next 25 years of D&D and all RPGs. D&D 3rd edition was an extensively tactical RPG with a much greater emphasis on squares and all this other stuff that had ever existed in AD&D 2nd edition outside of the combat and tactics optional player's option book. Simultaneously, at the same time, lo and behold, D&D, Wizards of the Coast, started producing collectible boxes of prepackaged miniatures made of plastic, and they were rares, uncommons, and common. You didn't know what you were buying till you opened it. You had to open it a bunch of times so you could get all the minis that you needed. You couldn't just go buy a beholder. You had to open up packs until you got a beholder, or you had to buy it on the secondary market, which at the time, and even to this day, are still fairly expensive. So here you have a system which is promoting people to want to play on a grid with miniatures, hard to play without them. And oh, hey, look at this. We're selling you randomized pack of miniatures. And that was part of an ecosystem design that they did in order to try to promote people to buy all of this extra crap. Because if you're playing AD&D and the only supplies that you have is one piece of graph paper and everything else, literally everything else, is theater of the mind, the combat descriptions, the whatever, the whole other thing, and your rules don't really require that kind of level of tactical precision, then people aren't going to buy all that stuff. They buy one $25, which what it was at the time. They buy one $25 player's handbook. They buy one $25 Dungeon Master Guide. They buy one $25 monster manual, and they call it a day.
Yeah, but that's what you do, is that if you're smart, you literally release D&D as a board game, where it's like Yeah, you can use, but you have to come up with a lot of stuff. But kind of the way Daggerheart's doing, it's like, okay, here's the game, here's the class cards, here's the spell cards, here's the monster cards, here's all the cards you need. I would never do minis. Minis, well, first of all, minis will get destroyed by tariffs. Also, minis take up way too much space. Yes, I know. You have Games Workshop, but people will only commit to one mini hobby, at most, and maybe two. And that's we have to go for the largest number of people. So the largest number of people are people who will play a board game that won't take up too much space, that requires 10 minutes to learn how to play. And then if they get into it, they can buy other things. And just like Magic the Gathering. So that is, you could
Magic
do it.
only takes 10 minutes to learn how to play.
If you go online, there's so many tutorials. If you play one
it
of
takes
the
more than 10 minutes before
it takes an hour to learn the details. But if you played it, when was the last time you played one of the online Magic tutorials? It's very simple. Because they start off you with a 40 card deck with only the simplest things, Mark. You're thinking of like Commander or something. Yeah, that's impossible to play. They don't start you.
I'm not saying when can you start playing a tutorial of the game. I'm saying when do you actually know how to play the game.
Okay, I can say that with Magic. Sorry, with D&D. It's like, oh, do you start off with the 20th level character? No, you start off with a fighter, level 1 human. That's how you start off. You start off with the easiest, simplest thing. Well, that's how they do with Magic now. They give you a very simple deck.
By the way, people are complaining that you ignored all the super chats.
Okay, super chats.
You did ignore all the super chats. So it started with, I think, Agile Monk for $10. Thank you, Derek, for finally getting us on topic. Steven, I need attention from you as you know everything and have some answers I need.
I know.
Calderak said, did you see the string click of the Pokemon CC that got tipped to bend a booster pack before opening it, and it had some rare foils in it?
No, I didn't see that. No. But I will say that back in the day, we used to, we would call it tilt rip, and you would just buy packs of cards, and without looking, you would just take the bottom card out the stack, which is the rare, and you'd rip it.
Oh,
and you'd do that because you were tilted. Oh, I have literally done that with like thousands of dollars of Magic cards.
Well, that explains a lot.
Why would you do that? What's the point of that?
Because he's bad at business.
Because sometimes you want to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
You're mad. You're upset. In fact, we used to have at our FLGS, we had a tilt box, and you would be upset if the rare that you ripped wasn't worth a lot of money. Because then it was like, no, I wanted to destroy something valuable.
I wanted to destroy.
I'm sure the FLGS would have sold you one of its valuable cards in the case, and then you could rip that up.
No, that's not the same, because the fun of this is the randomness of not knowing. It was good. It was good. And by the way, that wasn't like a me thing. That was like everybody. There's a whole thing. Look at it. It's called. Look it up on Google. It's called Flip It or Rip It.
There you go.
Anyway. What is you guys? Do you guys have a favorite TTRPG box set?
The Pathfinder one.
I think that the Pathfinder, in terms of a beginner box set, that I'm biased because I worked on the Pathfinder one, but I think it does a pretty good job. But I really like the previews of the D&D box set as well. I think it's going to be good. Steven made this video topic, and people will probably assume that he's trying to say, well, now the gameplay is going to be worse because it's going to be like a board game, and like people were arguing in 3rd edition and 4th edition. But I think that the idea here is that it can learn some good things from board game presentation. And depressing though it may be, people will buy board games for more money because the tchotchkes that are in it make them feel like it's worth something. Whereas for some reason, no matter how much work you put into the beautiful art and the thoughtful words that you put into a book, people will just not feel the value of that like they would for dice, or that they would for meeples or other pieces in a board game.
And also, when it comes to just like, think about how big board games are compared to TTRPGs. I mean, it's like no competition. Well, then why wouldn't you want to be part of that ecosystem if you're like, well, why aren't we coming out with ours? And they can. I mean, this isn't like, obviously it's hard for anyone else to do that, but Wizards can do this very easily, which they are doing. And you can have it both ways. I mean, you can my favorite game growing up was Dungeon. Remember Dungeon?
It's a terrible game.
Terrible game. But I was like 10. But Dungeon was like basically a simplified version of D&D turned into a board game, and that was great. I loved it. I love that game. And the point is that you can have it both ways. In fact, that's how you get people into the hobby. It's like, why don't you make something super simple that is D&D like, that is sort of like D&D, or it actually is. What's that?
Isn't that Shadowdark? Isn't that Shadowdark?
It's not a board game.
Right, but it's simpler to learn. The
yeah, but
rules
it's not a board
less
game.
complex.
It's not a board game.
People into
it's
the
not
hobby.
a board game. And you sit down with people and you say, okay, this is what we're going to play. And you take out, okay, guys, we're playing this book. Look at how thick it is. The last thing people want to do is read. Hey, the number of people who read in this country is very low.
Oh no! Listen, there is there is a well-known established saying in the Knights of Last Call Discord, especially in our Northern Reaches Pathfinder 2 community, which is that every player has the following anathema: reading.
There you go. So
nobody reads or wants to read.
I sit down with 5 people. I'm like, today we're going to be playing this. Here's this huge book. Now figure this out. No one wants to do that. And in fact, the only way I get people to play D&D or Pathfinder is I sit down and I give them a character sheet and they're like, what's the rules? They say, don't worry about it.
But see,
that's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
That's exactly the fucking problem. Those people have no skin in the game. These are these casuals who have flooded into the game, and gaming used to be something that you were like proud of. Because
you could still be proud of it.
No, because like it did take effort. You know, it's like, well, people don't read books anymore. I'm talking about like, fiction, because it's hard. I have to read words. Like, why don't you just beam the images directly into my, cerebrum, please?
That's too much too, by the way. By the way, it's listening to a book. I just saw something on...
right, I can't even listen to a book.
Listen to a book count as reading a book.
No, I don't think so. I think they have proven too. Studies show that it activates different parts of your brain and everything like that. But I'm just saying, like,
I derailed them.
No, I just think that when I see people who
yeah, but that's where the market is. It's like, guess what? The hardcores, we got all the hardcores. There are no more left. They're all taken.
No, there are more people joining the hobby every day.
Oh God, but comparatively,
and I agree with the people in chat that someone who is just new and they're casual now could become a hardcore gamer down the line.
But what is the?
Why would you gatekeep them away?
Yeah, why would you gatekeep?
What's the point?
Gatekeeping.
Well, guess what? Remember when the Wii exploded?
Toxic.
Wait, remember when the Nintendo Wii exploded and it started to open up the video game market into areas that never would have played video games? This is studied, quite frank. It's quite a bit now. So the Wii blew up for a couple reasons. Number one was they had motion controls, and the motion controls was being used in rehabilitation. It was being used. The Wiis were bought in
retirement communities,
retirement communities, like crazy. Like every retirement community had a Wii because it kept them entertained and it kept them active. And then a lot of those people, not a lot, but some of those people became gamers, and they unlocked something and learned about something about themselves that they didn't even know, because they poo-pooed it because they saw people playing like Space Invaders or Doom or something, and that doesn't look like something they'd want to play. But then they try the Wii and they're like, oh, this actually is kind of fun. And now you see there's YouTube channels of like grandma playing Final Fantasy, which is great, and they're really into it. They're like, these are people that were hardcore gamers but didn't realize it because they didn't have the opportunity. I'm talking about my friend Tara. Like, she was really into geek culture and into computers, and she never was able. She didn't use a computer until she was in her 20s. And when she did, she felt like she was missing out on this thing her whole life.
But is it really? Is it altruistic, or is it because you want to crack open a bigger market segment?
Both.
I think it's the latter.
Well, it can be both. Why can't it be both?
No, that's like saying I think it's great that all these games have loot crates, because it's bringing a lot of people into the hobby. People that wouldn't have played Roblox or wouldn't have played Minecraft before are playing it in greater numbers than ever because everyone's so excited about their new loot crate opportunity.
No, because I'm not forcing you to play. I'm not forcing you to play a game with a loot crate.
There's a difference between loot crate and gambling aspects, and the idea of bringing the Wii to retirement homes. Those are extremely different.
Yeah,
one of them is,
according to you, anything that gets more people to play the game is a good thing.
to play a game. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but playing D&D isn't loot crating. I'm not gambling here. I'm just having an alternate way for them to get into the hobby that has less resistance and is, quite frankly, easier for people to relate to and understand.
There's a difference between accessibility, between making a game accessible, and between making a game not more accessible, but like adding elements to a game that you think will appeal to more people. So, for example, the Final Fantasy set of Magic the Gathering was not about increasing accessibility. It was about pandering in a good way, right? It was cool. It's awesome. And it did very well by pandering to the way that they thought that people would like.
But it's also been
the most.
It's also been highly publicized by most professional Magic the Gathering players and people who've played it, that it is literally one of the best Magic the Gathering sets of all time in terms of
right. You can have it both ways
too, which is fantastic, right? But the thing that they're doing there is trying to make something that people just will enjoy playing.
So I like
because of the connection to Final Fantasy. That in this case is more like the loot boxes in the sense that they have changed the gameplay and the thematics to make it more appealing. Whereas what Steven is talking about is more accessibility, making it so people are capable of playing, which is more different from either of those two things.
Yeah, I'm just talking about capability. And like, if I sat down with my friends who not into role, they would never play role-playing games.
So you're saying they are incapable. Now listen, I'm thinking outside of the world of disability. I'm saying your friends are incapable of reading a book and understanding it. That's what you're saying?
Well, hold on, Derek. When you're saying outside the world of disability, it's not like a black and white world where you either are completely dyslexic and can't read, or you completely fine. There's a spectrum of people who have some smaller issues, or that it's a little harder for them, or it turns them off.
Wait. I'm actually going to answer that and say yes. And I'll tell you why. Because they're not into the zeitgeist of geek culture. So when you read a lot of these books now, they assume that you know what a troll is, what a goblin is. Let me tell you, the people I hang out with, when I saw Harry Potter with my wife 25 years ago, whatever, and they have the trolls in the trolls in the bathrooms, or the trolls in the dungeons, and the big troll comes out, my wife whispers over to me, she says, I thought the trolls were those like little things, those little guys. Remember those troll dolls? Like, she has no frame of reference. Remember, my family's the one who had never heard or saw
King Arthur.
So they have no frame of reference. So do they have a disability? In a way, yes, because they know nothing about this world.
About King Arthur is not a disability.
No. They know nothing about fantasy. Nothing.
All I'm simply saying, I think accessibility. I think accessibility is different than manufacturing interest to someone who doesn't have interest.
That's just marketing. That's what marketing is.
Yeah, that's marketing. Okay.
Whoa.
But that's what I'm saying, though. But that's what we're talking about. We're talking about marketing.
Well, no, the board game stuff is
also $4 in the coffee.
Derek, the board game stuff is also accessibility. Like that thing with I said to make the action cards to put 3 actions in the Pathfinder beginner box. That was a direct response to a mandate I received to make it more accessible for younger players and for players who are inexperienced with RPGs or don't understand how some of these things work.
I'm all for it.
I went and I did a bunch of research. I read papers and I came back with basically exactly the same thing Steven said here in the episode about the tangible aspects, something visual that you could touch and see. Okay. And they put that in there for accessibility reasons.
So does that mean that if an RPG doesn't produce cards and aids like that they are being ableist?
I think that when you start using labels like that on the continuum of process, what
ableist,
I said accessibility
ableist is different than not as accessible.
Right.
Okay. Well,
I'm also using, I think of it as teaching tools. Like, it is a heck of a lot easier to teach somebody. Think of this, how to learn a language. And there's been so much in accessibility and methods on language learning in the last 20 years to make it so much easier and faster to learn languages. It's just using technology and methods that we're learning. It's the same thing. It's like in the old days, you wanted to learn D&D, holy crap. In the 70s and 80s and 90s, it was It was like a 15-step process.
Let me be very clear about this. I contribute, well, not recently because I lost my job. I contribute a lot of money to disability awareness and all these other factors. I know a lot of people in my life who have disabilities, real, like invisible disabilities and visible disabilities. And I think it is a very significant thing, and we should really, really be aware of that and mindful of that. But what I'm saying is, I think that there is this, you mentioned spectrums of between, being altruistic, and we really want to make it available and accessible to people. Okay, great. But I think that is painting too rosy of a picture of what they're trying to do with this.
Oh, well, that's fair. And Derek, honestly, I think what is really true often in corporate America is that depending on who they're talking to, the game designer who may want to actually include accessibility tools is going to change their wording to get it done. So, for example, if a game designer, if I wasn't lucky enough to be working at Paizo where they actually wanted to increase the accessibility, and to be fair, getting kids to be able to play it is also good for them for money.
Yes.
So let's say I was working for Wizards and they were like, and I was like, I'd like to do this accessibility thing. And they're like, well, Papa Hasbro wants to know the bottom line. And I'm like, well, you know what? And then I could try to spin it in a marketing way about how it's going to make more money by getting more people to buy it.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you can say it in a different way, but that won't explain what your real motive is. And maybe even the person who's stuck in that corporate environment doesn't know because they're caught between both motives. Which one is the real motive?
It's been proven time and time again with studies that the more accessible that you make things for people who have disabilities, it benefits everyone, even people who don't have disabilities.
Yeah,
so I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to be more accessible.
I will give you
so that it helps people on board because it benefits everyone.
I mean, do you think RPGs should be like taught to people via TikToks with like blah, blah, blah,
Well, they are. But they are.
I think it would be great if there were more TikToks.
Yes. Yeah, that's good.
It's why this hobby has grown so much.
No, that's why it's growing because of TikTok.
Because it's easier to learn because you can watch a YouTube video on how to play Daggerheart.
Yeah.
I also think, Derek, what you're missing is Americans are working longer for less money and have less free time than ever before. It's getting worse.
Well, then
whatever we can do,
RPGs, because that's a very time-intensive.
Well, that's why they make them into board games, and that's why they make them into smaller things.
That's why you cut down the onboarding time.
But I remember Merles was talking on Twitter or whatever like that at some point in time recently, and I don't know if he's still working on this anymore. I don't think he is. He was talking about designing an RPG that you could play in under an hour, right? Where the session time was 1 hour. Because he said that's more realistic in today's world.
He's not wrong.
I hate to break it. That's how long we kind of play for in my. I play for 1 to 2 hours.
I prefer playing longer. And look, Derek, I would never want to learn
sessions.
I would never want to learn a game from a TikTok, but I'm very happy that they have that out there. It's excellent for
my weekly game. We used to play, and this is the same guys that I've been playing with. We used to play 16-hour games, 8-hour games. Now we're down to 1-2 hours if we're lucky per week. That's it. And we're happy. We get 2 hours in. I got a lot done in 2 hours. We go fast though. That's the thing. It's like there's no more futzing around. Like we crank.
I watched your streams. There's some futzing.
Well, no. That was level 20. But we actually so now we started level 1. By the way, we're playing the starter set. A+, by the way, Mark. People love it. They actually John Stats, professional dungeon designer. Literally,
and I know he made most of the dungeons people know from WoW. Right?
He said this was the best dungeon he's ever seen. Was the intro dungeon for the beginner's box.
That's a really high compliment coming from him because he also needed to create tutorial dungeons that taught different.
Yes, right.
Yeah, he loved. Are we
5-minute abbings? 5-minute abbings RPGs, right? You know that video, 6-minute abs. Well, I got a better program. It's 5-minute abs, right? And then it's like 4-minute abs.
That's good. I've seen that one.
Because I'm going. I have an RPG that you can play in 30 minutes. How about that?
Name that tune. I can do it in 1 minute.
Right. It's like everybody hops.
It's like how quickly can you teach? How quickly can you play your RPG? 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute.
And eventually, the RPG is us just going. We're like, hey. Yay! And that was a great session, everybody.
I created a new Roll for Combat Live RPG. Here's what it does. It has one oracle table. Okay? So you roll the oracle table twice. They each include different topics. And then the RPG is that you just say out loud, you say, Steven made a clickbait picture about, and the first thing you rolled on the oracle table, which, it could be like a game turning into a board game, but the episode was actually mostly about, and then whatever the second thing you rolled on the table, 80s movies.
Right.
And then you've just
that's a party game.
Created a 2-minute game where you're role-playing as the Roll for Combat Live staff.
Yeah. I don't think that's a bad thing, by the way.
I mean, Derek, I think what you're missing is that RPGs are very broad, and there's a lot of different RPGs.
Sure. And
people like different RPGs for different reasons.
Yeah.
Just like people like different card games for different reasons, which, if you're playing a game of, like Rummy, it's going to last longer than if you're playing a game of Go Fish, or if you're playing a game of Solitaire or something like that. So it's really a different strokes for different folks thing. Okay, and if there are games that are more conducive to 4-hour sessions, and there are games that you can play for 1 hour or 2 hours, and it's just like what you and your table want to do, and what works for you.
Is it the role then of the largest game company and the sort of 800-pound gorilla in the room? Is it their role to be the most bottom level accessible RPG?
Let me explain. Let me give you.
If you're owned by Hasbro,
if you're owned by Hasbro, let me give you.
But I'm saying, is that for Hasbro's benefit, or is that for the gaming community?
Okay, wait.
Benefit?
I'm going to give you.
Are we? Are we missionaries here trying to save the souls of the gamers who never got to be?
Yes.
Is that what we're trying to do?
Yes. Let me give you.
No,
I'm definitely not.
I'm going to give you the greatest.
I'm pro gaming choice. Okay.
Right, wait. Let me give you the greatest psyop in the history of one of the greatest psyops, not the greatest, but one of the greatest psyops in the history of marketing of all time ever. By far. This is actually pretty.
Is it diamond rings? Is it breakfast? Is this the most important meal of the day?
Nope.
Is this something that that no one else knows, Stephen?
We need a counter. I'm going to get my virtual camera, and I'm only going to pipe in my picture so I can actually add overlays to his stream, and it's going to have the Stephen knows, but no one else knows counter.
Well, no, this is taught in school, so people probably know this. Okay, so what is the one of the most popular drinks in the entire world by far?
Coca-Cola.
Coffee is right up there.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Except that's not true. So in many cultures, especially Asian cultures, the most popular drink is tea, of course, not coffee. In Japan, when Nestle and other companies were trying to break in the 80s and 90s, they had I think it was like 0.1% of the drinkers, the people in Japan drank coffee. They only drank tea. And no matter what they did, they tried all these tactics to get people to drink coffee, and it did not work. But then they brought in this new marketing genius that said, no, you're doing this all wrong. What we need to do is we have to train and teach people at the young age to love the taste of coffee. So what Nestle did is that they made coffee-flavored ice cream, coffee-flavored candy, coffee-flavored everything you would give kids, okay? Mm-hmm. Coffee-flavored lozenges, everything. Right. So as they grew up, they learned to like the taste of coffee. It took 20 years, but over time, as they grew up loving the taste of coffee, they went from 0.1% of the population to coffee is now the number one drink in Japan. It overtook tea by a lot.
And that's to all those people's benefit, right? Because otherwise they may have never gotten to experience the joy that is being a coffee drinker. And it was so nice of Nestle to give them that by getting them at an early age, making sure it was very available to them and very accessible to them, because that was for their betterment. Because otherwise they may have never realized that they were a coffee fanatic, and we gave it to them. Wow. Well done. Well done, Nestle. That was such a great thing that you did for all of us. And
Nestle actually only owns 22% of the Japanese marketplace, so they didn't even get 100%.
Somebody made a point earlier, and I think it was think it was Kendall.
Did you have racquetball soon? Was that what people were saying?
You do have racquetball, but no, but
I'm all hyped up now. But
you
Kendall
are
said
high.
something.
You are. He's gonna go and
no,
smack that ball.
No, but Kendall said something. They said, okay, yeah, right. D&D doesn't have loot crates or whatever. But if D&D could have loot crates, and that would increase market penetration, it would find more new gamers, it would bring more people into the hobby, including people who would become very dedicated fans of the hobby. Would that be good for the hobby?
No, actually, but we're not talking about loot crates. I'm talking about accessibility.
No, difference between getting people with accessibility and getting them with gambling or loot
we all agree that if we're talking about pure accessibility, it is an A+ win for everybody.
But do you think that those board gaming elements that Steven discussed, including the example I gave for the Pathfinder beginner box, do you think that those aren't accessibility?
They are. Potentially, if we start talking about board games, and now we can sell you cards, and now we can sell you little minis, and now we can send you these little doodads, and we can sell you this extra.
They are also obviously their monetization opportunities as well, but they are also an accessibility feature. Whereas loot boxes are not an accessibility feature in any way. They are entirely a monetization
but one of the things Steven's points was that they will, quote, get people to play the game who wouldn't otherwise play the game.
I don't think that's true though. I don't think loot crates.
No, loot crates.
People play Roblox because of loot crates.
No, loot crates. If you want to go into, I'm not getting into loot crates because loot crates is a totally different subject. That is gambling.
It is completely anecdotal.
It's completely anecdotal.
It is completely anecdotal. But I will say this: I know a ton of people who now play Magic the Gathering and Pokemon, and I mean tons. I mean like tons, because they got into the hobby because they wanted to open Magic the Gathering packs and Pokemon packs, because they wanted to get rare cards and special cards and foil cards. They were collectors.
Correct. But that's a different segment. That's a different segment. But yes.
Let me ask you a question, Derek. Are they enjoying themselves?
Yeah. I don't know. Does anybody enjoy? Do you think I'm enjoying myself? Do I look like a person who enjoys himself,
yes,
Michael?
You actually do. You love this.
This is the kind of thing that, like, who are we to say how people are allowed to enjoy our hobby?
Yeah, why are you yucking my yum?
Huh? Yeah, why are you? No, wait. Like yucking my yum. Why are you saying that loot crates are predatory? I go to Vegas 3 or 4 times a year when I can. I love it.
Well, because I can get into it, but basically because of the way they market loot crates, and this way, there's a lot of lawsuits in the UK about this. It's because they say, oh, this is not predatory. It's not gambling at all. And if you look at all the metadata and everything they use in advertising, it's
coffee-flavored lollipops wasn't predatory?
What's that?
But coffee-flavored lollipops wasn't predatory?
They didn't market it. I see your point. But the point is that legally,
we gotta hook them while they're young. Who the fuck talks like that?
Joe Camel.
I was about to say the other one. Yeah, it's like the Camel. Well, I'm not the one who came up with the idea of hooking the entire country on coffee. I'm just saying it worked.
I mean, Nestle is just overall.
D&D is creating a board game.
Nestle has done worse things.
Yes.
Why is that different?
Because I'm not causing health problems. If anything, it's been shown that TTRPGs
all right. I will
healthy.
TTRPGs actually, legitimately, I was just talking to a lady who talked to us at Gen Con who uses TTRPGs for therapeutic purposes, who thinks that Aldemon and some of our products would be fantastic for that and with kids.
Yes, and Shadowdark too. Shadowdark, they use those for those 6-year-olds all the time. It's great.
If you can run an Eldemon trainer and manage a stable of 3 Eldemon, you can definitely do partial differential calculus. So you are well on your way to acing the SATs.
Hey, well, you know that's you don't need.
You know what?
D&D anymore.
Definitely helped me.
Of course, it
definitely helped me growing up. I learned about both halves of the SATs, right? It helps on the language because you learn weird words like eldritch, and it helps you on the math.
Are you kidding? There's books on this. When I was a kid, I was 12 years old. My dad was worried that I wasn't. Of course, I can't talk right now. Is that like my vocabulary and like my learning was suffering because I was playing too many games? So he's like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have, and it was a computer game on my Apple II Plus that it was a vocabulary quiz. And he's like, every night we're going to do a vocabulary quiz, you versus me. And if you win, I'll give you $1. And if I win, you don't get $1. And we did it. He never won. And he was really trying. And after a week, he stopped because he realized my vocabulary was better than his. And it's all because of fucking D&D.
I agree with Bayside. That's going to be my new thing. Step aside, Vast Grim. Step aside, Pirate Borg. I'm going to create Morkbjorg for children. I'm going to get them when they're young. It's going to be the number 3 thing at Gen Con.
Why do you think the D&D cartoon, what do you think the point of that was, buddy? Get them while they're young. The D&D cartoon in the 80s. Oh, and we don't still talk about it? What do you think the whole Member Berries thing is?
They did the whole nostalgia trip. Yeah, Morkborg Jr. Oh, man, Morkborg Jr. is great.
Oh, dude, we are totally doing. That's my next Kickstarter. Shadowdark Babies.
Wait, Mork
Shadowdark Jr.
To make our RPG dreams come true.
The world will end and everything is horrible. But that's okay, kids. Let's just be friends.
When your world looks kind of weird and you wish that you weren't there, just close your eyes and make believe, and you could be anywhere. It's RPGs. That's it.
There you go. It's Mjorkborg babies.
Shadowdark babies.
Oh, we know we've gone too far when he does Kermit voice. When he does Kermit voice, he's losing it.
So. Agile Monk says he just bought the URL for
Mjorkborg Jr.
Shadowdark Babies. Yeah, I don't know the song, but yeah. It's
I know
Muppet
that song.
Babies.
I grew up listening to Muppet Babies.
And yet you claim not to like the Figment ancestry.
We could be. Think about this. All right. Which RPG company in existence? If I told you, I was like, I have a proposal for you. You could be the Baby Shark of RPGs.
I take it in a second.
Kids out there, man. There are RPGs for kids.
No, I'm talking Baby Shark.
No, but he wants to be Baby Shark particularly, which I assume means just something that is just repetitive.
I mean, 17.8 trillion views.
You know what bothers me about that so much?
Seen it.
When my kids were babies, I used to sing the shark was a Baby Shark song to them all the time. I used to always sing it to them. I never thought if I fucking put that on a video, I'd be a billionaire now. I'm like, I knew the song. It's like we used to sing it all the time. I was like, Baby Shark. Actually, I know the hand gestures too. It was like Baby Shark, do 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 do, Baby Shark, do 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 do, and then it's like Mama Shark, Papa Shark, Grampy Shark. This is Grampy Shark. Grampy Shark.
D20, get higher than a 10.
Steven, it's not too late.
I know.
It's not too late to make a Baby Shark video.
Probably. I mean, that's what all those other things are. They do.
See, Rising Star said we're all laughing, but Morkborg Jr. is a multi-dollar idea.
Morkborg Jr.
Yeah,
dude. There was. Remember the cartoons? There was a Rambo cartoon on Saturday morning cartoons.
Listen, I remember when I remember posting to YouTube pre-Kappa and after Kappa. Okay, like, the whole that's the Child Online Privacy Protection Act, by the way, for people who don't know that. But basically, it's like YouTubers were deliberately exploiting children to make money. So, yeah. But no, we're just introducing them and making it easier for them to get involved. I
don't know, man. Like I work with like drug companies, and I work with Scholastic. So you're talking to the wrong guy, because that's like we sit there. I work with Nickelodeon and Dick Jr. and
you're talking about the weirdest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. Ever since I was a kid. Hey, you're not a medical professional, but talk to your doctor about once a day Praxine.
You know why? I can go into it. You know why we do that?
Praxine may cause heart attack, sudden death.
Yes.
Loss of limbs.
That's right.
Your head may explode.
That's right.
It's like, what kind of fucking commercial is this?
Yeah, well, that's the only way. Well, because before that, whoa,
why don't I let my doctor talk to me about Praxine? Why
don't
I not talk about my doctor about Praxine?
Oh, they do. Those sales reps make a fucking fortune. By the way, so the only way they're allowed to do advertising
there we go. Marketing should be illegal.
It actually is. It is. There's heavy regulation on pharmaceutical marketing. That's why there's
I mean for everyone, Stephen.
Oh,
it's not just for pharmaceuticals, but for anything.
You should have to do hard work in order to find anything that you enjoy, so that when you do finally crack through.
So you want to go back to the 1800s?
That actually sounds horrible.
That sounds like the 1800s.
That also guarantees in that world, Derek, that only the big mega corporations that already basically were grandfathered in by all the marketing they've done in the past will now rule, and no small company can ever.
We'll wipe those out first, Mark.
Have you talked to your doctor about baby Shadowdark? No, but they actually do that because the brand loyalty for drugs is incredibly high. It's one of the strongest brand loyalties there are. So they work very hard to try to change the brand loyalty because the difference between drugs is almost nothing.
That's kind of weird. Is it brand loyalty of people or is it just of insurers?
No,
I know that
doctors.
Listen.
No, it's doctors that have brand loyalty. Okay, that's why they spend so much on sales reps.
My dad is a doctor, and he's always trying to change to whatever the best drug is that has been found through evidence-based studies. But he often finds an issue where he's like, look, we've got one. It's better. The outcomes are better. The price is better for you, insurance. Please take this. And the insurance is like, no, we can only take this one.
Well, it's a combination.
We already had,
yes, right.
That is more expensive and worse.
Well, it's different now.
We won't cover that. We won't cover the one that you want to give.
Correct. Well, this is pre and post like insurance insanity. Like,
now that you mentioned loyalty, I have to wonder from like the RPG industry's perspective, is someone like me a terrible customer?
No.
Or a great customer?
You're a whale. They love you.
Well, because I don't have brand loyalty.
Doesn't matter. You buy everything and never play anything. You're great. You're like a dream.
Hold on. You not only buy it,
and then you advertise it.
Rarely play it. You even go online and tell people about these small RPGs that most people haven't heard about. You're like the unicorn to them.
Okay, which means RPG companies should be figuring out how to find me.
No shit. Why do you think you're on my show?
I mean, why do you think that when you went to the Darrington
I got you on my show.
Why do you think that
you walked right into that one, baby?
Right? No. Why do you think Spencer Stark gave you a hug?
Why do you think Spencer Stark loved you? You were like, oh my god, I thought he loved me because of my mind. He only loved.
You win.
I lose. Because of my YouTube channel.
You know what? That's it. I you know what? I acknowledge I lost. You know what? You're smart. I'm stupid. Okay. You're very good looking. You're very good looking. I'm not attractive. You are the winner. I'm a loser. Okay. You smell very nice. I stink. You are. You are checkmate. That's just checkmate. There's just no other way to describe it.
Why did someone do that? I'm like, I did it.
Flip that section of this video where Derek just said that and put that as like a short on this channel.
You know what? And for that reason alone, buy Shadow. Go to shadowzoo.com and buy all their books because he beat me. He should beat you. He's the best. I'm the worst. Just pull the trigger. Pull the trigger now before it's too late. Okay.
Before I take over the world.
No, it's already done. It's just I can't. Listen. There. What happens when I used to think what happens when an irresistible force meets an unstoppable object, and I thought that was us. No, it turns out I was being played the whole
time. What's Michael doing? Michael's just like off in his own little land over there.
Yeah, it's just.
I was checking on the Kickstarter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
200, it's gone up like $2,000 or $3,000 since the stream started.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's getting up there.
Wait, I only saw it go up like one.
It's gone up like one. Well, it depends how often you've been looking at it.
Wasn't it like at 58?
I thought it was at 59 right before it started. But it actually made quite a bunch today.
260 now.
It was at like 59 at the beginning of the.
Hey, it went up. When I did my Shadowdark Mega Dungeon stream, it went up.
Like 4,000 or 5,000.
I was bumping it.
It'll go
We've already made as much today as we made yesterday, more or less, and the day is still not really young, but it exists.
By the way, these plushies are being made right now. My little wizard bird plushies.
Oh man, it's the Psycho Pomp Wizards,
and yet no Onkrub.
Oh, I'm working on it.
All right.
No, well,
that's all I
want. Mechanical Leader D plushie?
Yes, get a mechanical.
Oh God, not even I will do that. Not even I will do that one.
Well, hold on. Do a mechanical maitre d'.
Not even I.
Do a mechanical maitre d' plushie that talks when you squeeze it. It says, "Derek."
I have so many plushies. The problem is there's this little thing called tariffs, and I have to fucking figure.
Oh yeah, the plug-tailed Wally.
Yeah, I have all these great
plushie. The plug-tailed Wally.
I'm paying $100 to ship a book to Portugal. Okay, I'll pay the tariff.
Wait, you'll pay the entire tariff for the entire.
No, that's exporting. You don't even have to pay a tariff.
That's true.
Oh, and by the way, they added that. By the way, anything coming into America that costs $80. It cost was it $100?
Yeah. Did you see?
It's $80 now.
Modifius is no longer going to ship to the U.S.
Yeah, because it's $80 a product.
As if next week.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So, like, if you want your Star Trek, if you want your Dune, if you want your whatever from Modifius, you got to get it like now because they.
I mean, surely they're going to work with distributors, and you can get it from a distributor.
No, it's only
or from a.
No, it's only
you can buy direct.
You can't buy direct.
You can't, but it's only U.S. mail, by the way. So that's one of the tricks is that if you use FedEx or it's only U.S. mail. So if you use FedEx or DHL, then it doesn't affect there's no tariff.
Michael Putlack, I have to recognize your hat. My son loved that show.
That's Agile Monk's super
Great, man.
the Alf hat.
Alf.
Alf.
I was like,
Alf is like one of the
hat for him.
Oh my god! I know. You know that show was a nightmare to film. Take a look some behind the scenes on that show. Talk about 80s shows. Nightmare.
Was it because Alf himself was just a horrible person who was always like?
Oh, he was terrible. No, they had to build the set 5 feet off the ground.
Oh, okay.
And so everything, because it was like a double set, because Alf was a puppet, and they couldn't, so they always had to walk around. So everything was off, and they had to have holes in the ground so they could move Alf around. So there's pictures of the set. The set is ridiculous.
Even though he was
very
a puppet,
complex.
It wouldn't surprise me in that era if he was somehow abusive to other members of the staff, because that just seems to like always be revealed about things.
Anything from the 80s.
Sorry, Mike, finish up.
The Alf-splaining podcast had Paul Fusco, the creator, on last month.
Really?
And he kind of dispelled some of those rumors.
Oh,
he said it's not as bad as people made it out to be.
Well, yeah, but he was the showrunner. What's he going to say? It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Actually, well, what was the father? He hated that show. He had a lot of bad things to say about
Harry Shurier or whatever.
Something. I forgot his name.
Well, but speaking of being a loser, I need to go lose at Racquetball.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, that had I think a terrible ending. Alf.
Oh, he got captured.
Garrett's racquetball game or
right,
Alf?
Both. Depending on my position, both. No, he got like kidnapped by U.S. agents.
Right.
And then they like hauled him off in a van.
Right.
And then that's how the show ended.
Well, it was because it was supposed to be a cliffhanger,
and
they did it on purpose so they wouldn't get canceled, but it didn't work. They got canceled anyhow.
Well, they made the made-for-TV movie, which was supposed to be a backdoor plot pilot for like more, but they didn't have the Tanner family in it at all. So, like, what is Alf without the Tanners?
Yes, come to Roll for Combat for all your Alf questions answered here.
I have an Alf RPG written if you guys want to play test it sometime.
No way.
I do.
I would actually play that.
I would play that. I actually used to watch Alf.
Let's queue it up. Let's queue it up for the next con, Michael. Maybe Gary Con.
Dude,
let's
do it.
Alf.
You know what? You could just call it Alfheim RPG. I know you could call it Alf RPG, but then you're actually using the IP's name, whereas Alfheim is just a Norse mythology. It could be anything.
Might accidentally think it's a free league game, and then they'll buy it in droves.
It's called Ulf, which is an otherworldly life form.
Oh, Ulf.
There, that's how I skirt it. That's how I do it, baby.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's Alf in Pog form.
You could also call it Elf. And it could be extraterrestrial life form.
There you go, Elf.
You could call it E.T. Oh, wait, that one's taken.
Wait, that's all right.
Look, I came all the way around. I came back to E.T. And now we're going to go have some Reese's Pieces.
All right, enjoy your Reese's Pieces and enjoy losing at racquetball, Derek.
What's the thing? What's the thing that you say?
Until next time, if you want to back our Kickstarter, which you should, you have to roll for combat.
Take care, everybody.
Yep, that's it. That's the one.